Content over everything.
We should be telling our youth to never celebrate Black History Month. That is a disrespect. They're giving you 1 month out of 12. Oh, we're going to settle for that, yeah? That's nice, yeah? We'll take that. That's the problem. How is our kids going to see kings and queens enough when we settle for so much less? How do you want them to love themselves when they don't see it in us? They don't see that power that we have because we're not demonstrating it, guys. We need to make serious changes for them to make serious changes. We need to make serious mindset changes to be able to impact on their mind. They have to see the evidence of this change. Dean, I'm going on too long in it. I'm going to give it to you and I'm going to let you flow, my brother.
No, wait. Ladies and gentlemen, if you can move up, they're telling people that the place is full. So they're telling people that they have to go, so you have to move up and, squash up because enough people are getting turned away.
And we're all family.
Yeah, tight up. But we don't want nobody turned away, you know what I mean?
There's space.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Oh, you're up there.
Thank you, family. No empty chairs. We can move up to all of them. We're all family. We're all beautiful. If we can all move down. No empty chairs.
Because you know what? Yeah.
God bless family. There must be at least 20 chairs there now. We can bring them in. Thank you, family. Hold on. Please, Dr. Mark.
Okay.
Thank
So
you,
I'm
family.
feeling the love in here. And I'm feeling this mindset where we're in agreement. We understand that, you know what? We're taking responsibility. We realize as a unit, not as single entities, because that's the problem. This one here disagrees, this one agrees, this one. Once we start coming as a unit now, and we have one mind, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, one mind, now things start happening, things start changing. And that's what's going to change our community. So here's what we need to have one mind about. How do we deal with man them on the road? And I use such a raw word, and I know it probably won't be comfortable with many people, but I use the word, let's stop using the word gangs, please, because we've helped the media to create this massive negative within our community, okay? And while we're doing this, we're making the problem bigger. We're putting a magnifying glass on it. Guess what happens when you do that and the sun's shining? Fire starts. And fire starts. 50 youths dead, fire starts. But we're to blame because we're joining this whole system concept of how they deal with it. The system, and I'm not going to focus on the problem, I'm going to stick to solutions, but I want you to be aware of what's going on. And I want you to be aware that, please be aware of what you're doing, because petitions are going around inviting curfews. This is not the way forward. Can we please, this is what we're talking about, being ill-informed. This is when you don't understand the system's way of doing things, because what you'll do, you'll fall right into their hands in the same way you've done by using the word gangs, using the word black on black. I've heard black people using the word black on black. What the hell are we doing? That's not for us. They gave you that word. And this isn't about them and us. This is about you waking up to the elite system of doing things. Because remember, they brought us over with an agenda, and now you're running free in their country. They don't want that. So they have to recreate an agenda to keep you slaves, but mentally. So please be aware of what's going on. I'm not trying to create hate, because let me tell you something. Only love conquers. Let's not forget this. You don't go out hating on white people. This is not what this is about. You don't hate on white people. You don't hate on Europeans. You don't hate on Caucasians. No. This is about you understanding how the system you're in works. You love your fellow man that you see and be around every day, but you're powerful and understand your role and what you need to do to rise above the system. Because they're victims of the system too. That same system's fooled them. When I came to this country, white people were touching my hair. You know, you read this book, get this book and read, Prince of Peace. I will tell you my journey. White people was touching my hair like I was in the zoo. I was a monkey in a zoo, they'd never seen an animal before. Oh, you don't need to comb your hair. They're misinformed. They're ignorant. They don't have no knowledge. So now it's our job to make them understand how powerful and wise we are. We must love. This is what's going to take us to another level, and we must forgive. Start with forgiving yourself. Start with forgiving yourself, because you can't love and forgive no one else unless you start dealing with yourself. So everyone start with their self first, because we've got a lot of stuff that we need to forgive ourselves for. As we look at our community and we see our kids and we take responsibility, we have to ask God to forgive us, because we've never done the right things. And from that stance now, and from beginning to forgive and love yourself now, you can start taking action. This is what I need to do. Okay? So one of the things that I think is really important, that as a community, we need to get rid of this understanding about these hating on our young kids. Okay? We can't hate these young boys. They didn't bring up themselves. They didn't bring up themselves. They're doing wicked things. I call them child killers because they're killing other people's children. And I'm not calling no one no gang, because half of them ain't in no gang. Well, I was with all my brethren, and you're going to call that. If you're going to call them a gang, call the police a gang, call Parliament a gang, call all these other organisations gangs then. Because they're a collection of people that are moving in the same direction, that have an agreement about something. That's what's made them come together. So call Parliament a gang then. But if you did, they'll be upset. So why would you call a group of friends gangs? Well, we should be upset about that, but we're not. We're going along with it. Yeah, these gangs. So what we need to do is have this mindset, because what we do, we keep killers in our community. Do you know that? Do you know we keep killers in our community and then we bawl about them? We know. I was talking to some people today. We know who's doing stuff, because they're our kids. And in our generation grew so closely that you know how much of our kids know each other's parents and cousins, and we're all connected, us lot. North, south, east and west. We know each other. If you start going 6 degrees of separation, you realize, I know that you. Is that your uncle? Is that your dad?
It's true.
So we need to be united so they can't play us against each other. So if we got this mindset where we're saying, you know what, man can't grasp, can't grasp, how do you show these guys that we stand against anyone poisoning our community and killing our children? That's one united voice. We have to stand together and understand that we're not going to have it. So we can't have people in our community that know that these youths are on stuff. Young people, we need you to go and talk to adults, because our youths know better. Our youths know enough. I was working at a school running this program, and the program was called Pattern Up. I used their words. Pattern Up, man. So we used that, and the guys were there, and they said, because we're tight, they said, yo, Prince, you see that you over there goes to our school, that you was involved in that stabbing up Tottenham, you know. He was supposed to have goaded the other guy to use the knife and took it and passed it on. Our youths know stuff, guys. Let's get close with our kids again. Let's stop leaving the telly on and watching foolishness and sit down with our youths.
Yeah, Papa.
All of us, please. Listen, there's enough solutions, enough to be said, but I'm praying that we first galvanize the right people to come together, share with you the best practices that we have, and we'll share with you what we think can work. What do you think can work in your neighborhood? What initiatives you think you can be bringing into your neighborhood? Let's share, let's work this thing together. And remember this, I want to share this. I started helping young people 6 years before one of these guys with this mindset killed my son. Okay? Now, the reason why I feel I'm well placed to speak about inspiration and motivation, I want to leave you with this, is because we all have a choice. Now, my son was stabbed in his heart trying to break up a fight. He had a great life ahead of him. Playing for QPR, they tipped him to be in the first team. By the time he was 16, he was playing with them already at 15. So we're looking at Prem now for my boy. Everyone's happy. So a youth with this mindset decides, let me do this. Then I'm left with a choice. Okay, I struggle. It's all here, man, I'm telling you. Check this out. I struggle and battle. I need to kill this guy because he's killed one of mine. But then the Most High was speaking to me while this turmoil was going through me. And he was saying this to me. Do you want to become a part of the problem or a part of the solution? You want to become the part of the solution? You walk my path. You want to become a part of the problem? You copy what the killer done to your boy. Are you listening to me? We have the same choices that we make every day with our children. Problem, solution. And we really have to give it some thought. So I'm going to simplify this for you. The community that you want, if you want unity, if you want to see love in your community, give love. Unite with others. My man broke it down with self-hate, and we don't uplift each other. I'm going to say something really sad. Enough people know about Kai and Prince Foundation. Enough people holler at me, yeah, Prince, what you're doing is so inspirational. Do you think I'm doing this for praise? Do you think I'm doing this for people to pat me on the back and give me a spot on ITV? No. EastEnders call me. Come on the show. We're going to do something unprecedented. We're going to have real people on our show to do what EastEnders to do in knife crime. Let me show you something, guys. Our problem is money. We sell out. There's a price on our heads. Love to chase the blame and the money. Let me show you something, guys. I stand as a living witness to you today. I will be the example first. I will step up first. That's why I never killed this guy. Because I knew my community needed an example of how things are done. And I was going to let God strengthen me because he said, not in your strength, my man, but in my mind, in my strength. Yeah. So that's how I stand before you today. And I let EastEnders know, my friend, I'm happy to be on your program. In fact, I can do a lot for EastEnders. I can do a lot for the community. But you have your own agenda. And your agenda to put me on is to have more people on your program to show knife crime in a negative way. And I don't think knife crime needs more sorrowful black victims in front of the screen, woe is me. And then I love Brooke Kinsella and the family, and I'm not speaking anything bad about them. I'm just letting you know facts. And they'll have Brooke Kinsella and their family, and it will almost be like, you know, they're the spearheads in this, you know? But then they want to call it black and black crime. And I'm looking at it like this. I offered them a role. I said, what I will do for you is this. I will come on your program and inspire and motivate your audience that's watching to know that this isn't a time to break down and work from fear. Tribulations and trials are an opportunity for you to rise. Understand what I'm telling you? This is an opportunity for you to, and you're all going through stuff right now. So I'm reminding you of your own situation. Whatever stress and problems you're going through, God has sent them for you to build and rise and grow from the ashes and become. Use your terrible situation, your son not respecting and going away and madness and all kind of stuff going on in your life with your family, your work and all of that. Use it to create something great in you, to rise and stand up in your community, to show the young people this is how you live. This is how you face problems. Not like this and depression and woe is me and the word I can't. I can. And I am mighty. And I am awesome. And I am great.
Respect for that. I think we have my mentor.
Yes.
Yeah. We got
love you. Peace and love to my community. Love.
What we got to do, we got to be mindful of the time, you understand? So we're going to
no disrespect.
From 7 till 10 o'clock, so we've got to make sure we value the time that we've got, and it's got to be used very, very wisely, yeah? All right.
Very respectfully, just before my brother, my newfound brother,
Come on.
Nana, speaks, I just wanted to add something to what Dr. Mark Prince said about parenting. And I was mindful of my two brothers in the corner. They look like they could be related, David Mullins and Courtney Brown. Because part of the matrix of solutions that we're delivering is also classes in parenting. And what Courtney does is train trainers with ethical leadership, which is different from something where people take it upon themselves and there are no guidelines or no speciality. What David Mullins does is specialize in parental and youth intervention when, for lack of the skills, the state may come in. There is an intervention to be made. So when we talk about building institutions, there are those guys from our community whose role it is to train the trainers. Now these things have systems, policies and protocols to be rolled out because their intellectual capital specializes in these areas. So when you see people up here talking about their expertise, none of this is in isolation. Their expertise has been gained to put into systems, policies, protocols, so that we can duplicate that and roll it out across the 33 boroughs. And then from the 33 boroughs and case studies that are successful, roll that out nationally. So,
Nana.
to my brother Nana from Access UK.
You guys sent me up to film. How am I going to follow that up, Mark? Yeah, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to say everything Mark said, I agree with. End of story. End of story. On a real note, I'm going to say one thing very, very quickly. Everybody in our community is looking for solutions externally. What I'm saying is the solutions are in this room and across all our communities. So don't look externally. We can be the solution to our own problems and issues. So I'm going to make this very, very brief because I know I'm on a timer. My name is Nana, founder of Access UK. Access UK stands for African Caribbean Careers and Employment Support Services UK. All right? So I don't need to explain exactly what that's all about because it's all in the name. Better known as Access UK. Now, Access was set up around 2013 after the London riots. And Mark, I didn't know Mark directly. I knew Mark through my circle of friends. So I had inside information about the whole situation with Mark. And then I was asked to do a report on the causes of the riots. So when I've done this report, because I've been in welfare to work and youth engagement for years, for almost 20 odd years. I used to do it voluntarily back in the day when I was studying, and then, I've done it as a career, going on from there. Work for private firms, getting people into work, long-term unemployment, all that stuff. That's my background. And when I've done this report, I found that in this particular area, you have wards that are the top 5% poorest in the UK. Not in London or England, the whole entire UK. Places like Northumberland Park. Yeah? The top poorest wards, 5% in the UK. Yep. And what I realised is there was no specific services addressing the specific needs of our youth. Mm-hmm. So you can't walk, for example, okay, in the UK, if you're between 18 and 24 and you're black, there's 1 in 2 chance you're unemployed. That's 50%. If that was being reflected in other communities, there'd be an uproar. Mm-hmm. When I found this out, I thought to myself, hold on a minute. I'm part of a machine that's trying to help these people into work. And we're not built for it. We're not designed to address these issues that are affecting our young people. So I knew that I had to create something specific and bespoke to our young people, addressing the specific needs that they're facing out there in the labour market, right? And that's one, my experience is helping people to work, so it was a no-brainer. So I started, contacting this person, contacting that person to get support to set up my organisation. I got no support, and I got very, very frustrated because I'm doing this out of passion, out of love for my people. Now, at the time, I used to be into buy-to-lets. So when you buy a property, you rent it out. So what I ended up doing was I sold one of my properties to raise the capital to set up access, because nobody was willing to help me. And through my own passion, I said, you know what? I'm going to sacrifice my property and set up this organisation. When I set it up, there were stakeholders that thought, well, whatever, this is going to fail, because they have no faith in black people. They have no confidence in blacks. We've done it for a year with no funding. Now, I'm from North West London. And I came all the way here, like I said, my affiliation with the community. I went to school with a lot of people that are, so-called, they label them as gang members, whatever. So these are people that I know in person. So I had, like I said, I had direct information about what was going on in Tottenham. So I set up the organisation, and to be honest with you, we completely smashed it in the first year, in terms of our outputs, right? Then the same people that were refusing to fund me, all of a sudden were knocking on my door. Nana, we heard about the great things you're doing in Tottenham. How can we work together? Now, I know that they were told to do this, because they didn't do it willy-nilly. They were instructed by someone hired to say, you know what, go and see this guy. So I ended up writing a program. This was one of our leaflets we were handing around the area, where it was specifically aiming at our youth and saying to them, look, if you want an organisation that knows the barriers you face and knows your feelings and how to circumvent these things that are in the system to stop you from progressing, come and see us, right? So we got our first contract off the DWP. DWP stands for Department of Work and Pension, i.e. Job Centre, yeah? We smashed that target too, yeah? After that, I became their best mate. All of a sudden, another contract came, yeah? But what I'm saying to you is this. Most people hide the fact that they help black people. They hide it because they see it as counterproductive. I didn't care at the time because I had my own money. And I invested my own money. Now, it's become the vogue now to be, a BAME or a black minority ethnic organisation. All of a sudden it's vogue. But 4 years ago, it wasn't a vogue. So we set the trend. Yeah, we set the trend. And now what we're looking to do is work with our brothers and sisters, people that are doing great work in the community, but are doing it in isolation and bringing them all under one umbrella. Yeah? Where we can work together. Because this is a team sport. It's a shared responsibility. So, for example, if someone comes to me and I specialise in for young gang members and young people that are unemployed, and they've got mental health issues, I should be able to refer them to a specialist who specialises in that. Yeah, I should be able to send a specialist that specialises in health, holistic health, whatever it is, but under one umbrella, rather than turning them away because you know what, we don't deal with that, so we can't help you. Those days are done. So, like I said before from the beginning, we are the solution to the problem that's out there. We need to start looking at ourselves.
True.
And What, time up?
No, I mean, well, what it is, my man's got to speak, and then we can, because I want to
Okay,
hear from what the people's got to say to tell
You know what? Yeah, okay, I'll stop there. But if anyone wants to see me about our programs at the end, I'm here. Yeah? Thank you very much.
Thank you, my brother. Yeah, I just wanted to introduce this gentleman personally, because obviously, Paul here, he comes from Northwest, and this gentleman here is his son Kamari, yeah? Kamari was the young boy that got killed in Northwest London, the time when the stabbing with the school children, yeah? And if I'll be honest, these are the reasons why we have come together as a community. You get what I'm saying? Because we can't allow none of this rubbish to be happening in our community, and that's what I'm saying. So, Paul?
Should I tell my story?
Yes.
Right. Last year, January the 23rd, my son Kamari was walking out of school. He was 15 years of age. He's walked out of school, and the young lads come down and stabbed him 3 times for no apparent reason. They didn't have no argument with each other. My son went no gang member. He was just on his way home from school, doing what any ordinary kid would do at 3:23. And a young man just came out of nowhere, stabbed him 3 times, and said it was a mistake. He didn't mean to do it. My son got rushed to the hospital. 4 hours later, he died on the table. His heart gave up 4 times. On the 5th time, the doctor says his heart was so hard, they couldn't resuscitate him no more, and he died at 8:01. Up to today, we don't know why this young lad did it. He was also 15 years of age as well. We have no reason why he did this. He hasn't said an excuse, he just says he didn't mean to do it. It was a mistake. I always say you can't stab someone 3 times and say it's a mistake. Yeah, that doesn't happen. And
Sorry to cut you. Was it a mistake or mistaken identity?
no, he said he stabbed him on mistake. He just set upon him for not any reason. We think, well, the conclusion, we can speculate why we think it is. We think the day before, this young lad had an argument with another pupil at the school. So this young lad came all the way from South Norwood, and the boys' son school's all the way in Willesden. So he's travelled all the way from South Norwood to come over to, he says so-called, well, we think he's come to see this other lad. Yeah, because he's come out, but they've had some little tiff over social media. And he's come out and he's did this horrific crime now, 14 years, which 14 years for a life, you know? You can't compare because he'll be out 14 years. Mine is a life sentence, you know? It's something that I will carry with the rest of my life. So, yeah.
Yeah, I just want to say, my brother, we really appreciate you coming down there, yeah? And I remember the story well, and it's something that, like, it spared me to say that this can't happen. I'm speaking and I'm going to say this, yeah? I might not be the most eloquent speaker, but I'm telling you, this can't happen no more. It's for us as a community to come together, yeah, and stop this shit. It can't happen no more. Yeah, we can't allow this to be happening in our community no more. Yeah? Well, the men have to step up. Yeah, there's warriors out here. Real warriors. Yeah? We have to do something about it. It's our community. You know what I mean? That's why I ain't even gonna lie, man, like ganging them people, they went out on the front line. Yeah? No long talking. Yeah, the long talking thing is over. We need to find solutions. We need to get out there. You can't walk on the streets, find something to do. Like all these gentlemen here, let's intertwine our skill sets and let's work together. The bickering, I've got my own problems. I'm not gonna pretend like my life is perfect. The bickering and all them kind of things there, it has to stop. We have to become one. You know what I mean? feel like nobody's out of place or going on any kind of way. It's honourable. This is how great we are. We're great people. We're going to make a difference. You know what I mean? Yeah. And at the moment, what I'm thinking, I'm going to be realistic. We got 3 hours. We got 3 hours. 2 hours left. And I want to hear from the people, because we could talk until that kingdom come. I want to hear from real people, real situations, and then we could come back. We're going to give everybody out here an hour. So respect the hour. Respect. Don't bother be on the mic for 10 hours. None of that rubbish. Yeah. 5 minutes the most. Don't violate the thing like that. Yeah. Everybody should have an opportunity to speak. Who wants to speak? Wait a minute. Let me stand up a minute. Who's got the cordless mic? Cordless mic. Because is there anybody in the audience that would like to be one of the people that I'll do it? Yeah, who would like to go first? This one. I see this woman's hands first.
Thank you very much. Hi, my name's Marianne. I just wanted to share very briefly. My brother was murdered when he was just coming up to his 21st birthday. And I would just give anything to get my brother back. In hindsight, you have so many things that you could have done because you saw the signs, but you ignored the signs. And you just keep replaying over and over again, if only you had done this, if only you had done that. When my brother was murdered, it just broke my mother. It was just the most heartbreaking, devastating thing to happen to my mum and my sister and all of our family. The ripples of pain were throughout the whole family. I'm African and Kenyan. When we bury in Kenya, you bury in white, you celebrate a life. And to celebrate a life of a child who was going to be 21, how could we be celebrating? We had the funeral, came back to England, and people couldn't talk to my mother because what could they say to her? They would see my mum come in and they'd just go the other direction because you couldn't say your son died from anything expected. My other brother was, thank God, spared in the strife that happened. And I just live in gratitude now because my other brother's alive, and I'm just trying to serve my community and pay back the kindness because my other brother lived. We set a table, place for my brother Joseph who died, and for me, I would just like to say to all of you, young people in particular, you're so precious, every single one of you, so precious to us. We love you. We don't want another funeral. The ripples of pain in our community are just too many. In 2007, in Kent and Chelsea, where I come from, Kojo Younger was a young boy who was killed by other young people. And just last month, on the 14th of March, it was the 11th year commemoration for his death. And his mother is in that same place that you are, where her life has stood still. All the other children have grown up 11 years forth and are doing things. The young people who killed him are coming out. So we need to say to all of you young people, you're so precious. We're here to try and do everything to work with you, to save you. Share your problems, share your challenges with us. And for all of you in this room, every child when you go out is our child. Every child you see is reflected, they're ours. So if you see, please, if you see anything happening, anyone, back-chatting, get involved and say, that's my child, that's my little brother, that's my little sister, that you are all of our children. Yeah. We have a role to play in just stopping one child being hurt, because you hear about the children who died, you don't hear about 37,000 living with life-altering injuries. You don't hear about when people are in prison, they're working for corporations for 30 pence a day, and companies are getting rich on the back of our children in prison. So please, we love you. Let's work with you to stop this cycle. So 2 more things, please. Knowledge is power. Applied knowledge is empowering when it goes to make a difference to our community. Because we are one family, we are one, strong together, united. So please, each one of you, mentor someone outside of your family, because we protect our family, but now we're all one family. Mentor somebody. Make sure that you're the catalyst for the change that we want to see. Please. Thank you very much.
Next person. No. 5 minutes. Everybody's got their time. When it's your time, you can speak, yeah?
Greetings everyone, my name is Floyd Jarrett. I had no intention, I never knew about this meeting. Yisreal called me and said, could I come down here today? Well, the first thing I have to say is, respect to Sharon Grant up there. I come from a very unique and special time. I come from a place called Broadwater Farm, where we initiated a system that was never done before in here, and they made sure they destroyed it. Now, the first thing I'm going to say is this. They talk about the youths and the killings. I've seen this years ago. Marcus Garvey, we heard that you spoke with the grand leader of the Ku Klux Klan. Yes, I met the leader of the Ku Klux Klan, and the meeting was cordial. He lets me know that he stands for white supremacy. I have no problem with that. I say we blacks must form our own organization for our own black supremacy. Marcus Garvey, don't you know for the words that you say you can be lynched? Well, I say, between here and Africa there is 3 million oak trees. Let the lynching start tonight. Marcus Garvey, what will your people do when you are gone? I am the first Marcus Garvey, and there shall be many more in the fold. Now listen, these lyrics, I made it 30 years ago. Now the youth them outside, now them a rob and them a loot. Walking with them knife and a big gun and them a shoot. When now we black people, we are lacking for we roots. We wake up every day in life, we're searching for the truth. But everything we do in life, we just seem to lose. Babylon them have the power now to pick and to choose. In what they will accept, you know, in what they will refuse. As long as black people can express their views. We don't have no history, no trace, no clue. Our history, it is right, they say, is better than bruised. And everything that's bad, the black man are accused. Lying them until we know that is an excuse. What they're trying to do, divert us from knowing the truth. Black man, we have the evidence, we walk with the proof. Our forefathers to slavery, they were caught and introduced to work on the soil while them reap the produce. And if we try to fight back, we were whipped and subdued. Them hang us in a tree with a rope and a noose. Some people could be shocked by what I'm saying as news. Some people could be laughing at me quietly amused. Well, all I can say is me no respect you. Every man has got the right to do, say what he should do. Many shall be called and now the chosen shall be few. So to what I was saying, let me now continue. I wake up every day in life with one issue. The oneness of Africa I must pursue. In every island, every country, every dance venue. They take away with magic, whatever call it voodoo. And from the days of slavery, what? Nothing's improved. The dirty slave master, them not change them attitude. We're still being rejected, neglected and used. Shut down in the street and deprived of food. Now I'm going to give you one more quick thing about the youths. They're talking about the youths. We live in a system where they have devalued the power of the man and the family unit, especially the black one. You see, wherever you go in the world, a man is the head of the family. We live in a system now where they have made the man fifth line in the chain.
Come on.
I'm going to explain it.
Please do.
You have gay rights before us. We have lesbian rights before us. We have children rights before us, and we have women rights. So how can the children have any discipline when they've taken the strength from the father away from the unity of the family? The system is not built for us. This is why we have what we have today. I am 57 years of age. I can go West London, East London, North London, South London. I do not have to look behind me because I didn't go in a time of that. These kids today have no parenting, no love. I can see a young child and you look at me and I'm saying, you're right, yeah. Where did he get this from? Back in the days, if I saw a black man or a black lady, hello, hi, we were glad to greet one another. We didn't greet ourselves in violence. So I say, there's been a lot of talking, but the children do not have anything to do or anywhere to go to interact their social skills. We used to have youth clubs. I would leave to one youth club, meet friends from another youth club. We would all interact and go out. You can't even send your child out to a party now. You know, 15, 13, 12-year-old children dying. It's a crying shame, and we have to do something about it. We have to try and reach these youths. And for everyone on the panel, I would say respect and honor to you all. Nice, my brother.
Thank you, for respect for that. Who's the next person? My brother in the green top.
Hi, how you doing? How's everyone doing? I just want to commend everyone on the stage. Can you give them a round of applause, man? Okay, so my name is Franklin Boateng. I'm not going to come up and say anything too profound. Some of you may know me as Fabs Network. Some of you may know me from my blog King of Trainers. I'm here to offer some, basically just a hand. About 3 years ago, I stood on that stage and I gave a TED Talks about the social media mind. And it was really trying to not blame the young people about social media and to really offer them some guidance and support in how they do social media. So I've developed a program which I do in my office, actually just at the back. It's called Social Media Safety. It's for parents and children. I'm offering it for free. So if anyone wants to come and see me, I can help you look at the social media of how your children's on social media, how to look at what they're doing and in a safe environment, and also teach your children the pitfalls of social media. We should stop blaming our children. We stop blaming our children and start to educate our children about how social media really, really works. Yeah. So that's just me. I've also set up something called Footwear Jobs, which actually helps, and it basically makes employment cool for young people in the footwear industry. You know, so I'm around, my office at the back, so anyone come and see me. The services I offer are free. Yeah? Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. I just want to say, I like what my brother's talking about, because he's talking about solutions. What we want to know is about solutions. Solutions, how can we make a difference? And we have to keep it short. Yeah. My sister with the glasses.
Oh, thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi,
Hello, my name's Michelle. I ain't got no...
so am I. I'm Michelle as well. You go first.
Oh, sorry. I ain't got no biological children. I don't have no biological children, but I've got many children. And this issue has been bugging me for a long, long time. Now, I know that there's a lot of organisations out there, and they've been working in isolation. So I've been thinking, what could be the solution? And the solution that I've come up with and I'm working on is a village hub. And it's actually going to be an application that you can put on the phone where all your organisations will be on there. So if your child getting bullied, for example, you can put bullying in there and it will direct you to the organisations that deal with that. But not only that, there are people that's been introduced into gangs and everything. I mean, I've not got very far yet, but I'm definitely working on it. And I've been working in charities for years, and I'm calling in some favours, man, because I want to get funding to get this going. Very quickly to add to your point, what you've identified is signposting. And this is one of the massive challenges we've been talking about, the categorization. And that's what Nana was talking about. If you need a psychotherapist in a particular area, it should all be signposted. So you're added to that matrix of solutions. We have the conversation afterwards because all the skill sets are there. And very quickly, what Franklin said ties in with what I was saying about David with this parental education. So now what we're doing is we're making these things very formal, that we're putting systems in place with protocols and policies that we can duplicate. So they start online, but they can also be duplicated and delivered in physical spaces. Excellent.
Thank you. And to add to what you're saying, like as a community, how can we make my sister's dream a reality? Like talking is good, whatever she needs, link her and make it real, make it be let it be tangible. Let the things that we talk about now be tangible, working. Yeah, who's next?
Yes. Yeah, I just want to quickly say that I'm really into supporting this lady who's got this initiative, because we need to support each other more.
Absolutely.
We need to support each other. Like a real good example is I had about over 370,000 hits on one of my Facebook links. And I said to everyone, can you imagine, instead of running to try and get funding of government who don't want to make sure they build you, if everyone gave £1 instead of giving one line of comment, how much can I do for the community? All I have to be is transparent. I'll be transparent with the money, I'll be transparent with the programs, so you'll see everything what I'm doing, so you'll see where your money's going, which is more than you get from cancer research, who ain't giving you no research, but you're giving them all your money though.
I'm going to add a very quick point, so I know we're on a timer. For far too long, we've all been working in isolation. I've said this on many platforms.
True.
Firefighting, it's not going to work. What did Einstein say? Madness is doing the same thing repeatedly and think you're going to get a different result. Yeah? That's exactly what we've been doing. So we need to get away from this kind of, insulated way of working and start doing things properly. Now, part of that is, like I said, Dean mentioned earlier, is we're mapping out all the services, the credible services across London and in fact the UK, that we can refer and signpost our people to. Yeah, because it's not about the individuals, it's about the collective. We need to get away from the individualistic mindset that we have in our community and work together, make things easier. People trying to hog out, certain information, it doesn't work. Because the person that holds the purse strings, they don't, look, you go to any person that holds a purse string, you go and tell them that you are the be-all and end-all of everything. They're not going to listen, they're not interested. What they're interested in is people working collectively together to do the job. So get away from the mindset of, I can do this by myself, and start thinking strategically, collectively, so we can get the finances and resources we need to deal with this problem. Because like I said in one of my videos, passion can only get us so far, right? We need manpower, resources to actually do this work. And all the things that you see that are going out there now in the streets, we can deal with the problem. Trust me, we can deal with it. If that's right, and we've got a passion and love for them as well. That's it.
Hi there, I'm Yisreal. I've travelled up from Wandsworth because I just felt that I needed to be here to do something, support the issue. I personally lost my nephew in 2015. Again, he was stabbed in the heart. And that's one of the reasons why I'm here, and because, like one of the gentlemen said, kids are getting killed, and they're all our kids. Everyone's kid is our kid because they're all black children. So I just like to say, when I first sat down here, I was worried. I kept looking back and turning around because I was actually scared that the turnout wasn't going to be what it was, and it is. It's absolutely magnificent. And I just like to say, Mr. If only is a friend of Mr. Too Late. Yeah. And that's it.
This lady was upstairs. I'm not going to get this mic up there. 1 minute.
While we're running up to get that, as I was saying earlier, in every community, even this community, there's more than one empty church hall, empty spaces for people are not using. We can use those buildings to make workshops happen. You understand? Youth clubs happen. We don't need the government to help us out. Because there's so many people come in to watch and understand what we do, we can do it ourselves. You understand? There's probably solicitors, doctors, there's everything here. Even drug counsellors here. We can do it ourselves. So if you've got one in your area, don't think about it, do it tomorrow. Go and find if you can do it tomorrow. And we will help you start the programme off.
Okay, if I can say my point here. There was a meeting held on Saturday in Brixton, and I just wanted to know what was the conclusion at the end of the evening when the groups came together to discuss and make a solution. Can you tell me what was the conclusion?
Yes. So a lot of what we're talking about now was raised within that hour in Hinton Road. Part of it was signposting the relevant services that we all provide, because we lack the organization. It's not a problem that we don't have these things. There's a reason that they can't be funded. We're not finance ready because we've lacked the organization. So part of it is a color coordinated set of signposting for every single service. What we got to understand is that none of this happened with youths in a void. Youth provision, when Shore Start closed, was cancelled. There is no effective knitting together of youth provision. Tony Blair gave a contract to an Auditonian, and when he handed over the melting iceberg of the Prime Minister's role to Gordon Brown, his friend didn't want to compete for contracts. So you saw the domino effect. Nationally, that's a national contract where that cohesive youth provision was shut. Now that dealt with teen pregnancy, teen mental health, teen access to employment. All of these things take coordination. That is one of the big corners of failing, along with a system which is education, that has now become a processing plant that doesn't represent our children. They don't feel part of it. So when we're taking responsibility for ourselves as a community now, we're calling on expertise and knitting it together. We work on this behind the scenes. There are many frontline roles, and then there are strategic roles that we don't talk about, because it just involves knitting those services, cancelling the egos and the personalities, many phone calls to knit these things together. We can provide our community a gang hub. This came out of it. There's a gang line already. It's 24 hours a day. Do you know what it's run from? Tell them where it runs from. It runs from a mobile phone. So the first thing I said that comes out of, you see, two things happen in a void. One of them is Lord of the Flies and bestiality. But another thing, the mother of all invention, necessity, is youth innovation. Nobody counseled these young men to start this. Nobody funded these young men to start this. But it's here. How do you build upon that? The wisdom of experience. What my brother, my older brother, brings from the nation is systems, protocols, and processes that have been tried, tested, and executed. So those gang hubs, when we look at buildings, we can purchase those as a community based on current legislation of African Caribbean businesses donating what would otherwise be taxable income to one particular charity to purchase commercial freeholds. Because the problem is, when we go and take these empty buildings, that will be assigned to us by the mayor's office, we'll get a 5-year lease. And come the end of that 5-year lease, like the brother who came here and rapped for us, it will be a rap because it will go quiet. And you look at these things, there's cycles of repetition. Because we rely on a system outside of our own people for community centres, they can close those community centres anytime. Me and Nana went for a meeting at New Scotland Yard. I don't know, at Victoria, expecting to go to New Scotland. They knocked it down and they sold the space. They're doing that with their own systems. So why would we ever rely on a people who never had us within their agenda to succeed, knowing that we have the legislation to walk in self-determination? Now, don't look in Stamford Hill like it's any kind of magical process. That came out of the Balfour Agreement. That was men and women, Zionists, sitting in a room just like this, who decided to organize and signpost the various expertise effectively. How effective are our processes? Let's not make them up. Let's rely on what works, adopt those processes, duplicate those processes, and then employ those processes successfully and apply the systems to that innovation. The only result you can have from that is success. It does not come from outside of this room. It does not come from outside of this community. These hubs, where you've seen this happening out of necessity, we're all having chatter via the technology, which is amazing, that links us. So that's what came out at the end of that meeting. But we have an absolute clarity, and we're having those conversations, and we're linking these services.
Thank you, Dean. That was wonderful still. Yeah, I just wanted to introduce the man like Raspect, the really general, the real general. We have to thank God for his life story. Yeah, my brother.
Thanks. Hello, everyone. I'd just like to wave and say everyone looks beautiful.
Yes, sir.
You've got it in your heart to do something, so that's why you're here, and keep pushing forward. I wasn't expecting to say anything, but obviously you get inspired listening to everyone. I was actually a surviving victim of a stab crime, and so it kind of pushed me to say something right now. What I want to say is that we're looking for solutions. There are solutions, but you need to have a plan of action and start working towards that plan of action. We can't just keep talking about it. I've been to loads of seminars and discussions, and what I find is that we keep talking and nothing gets done. So one idea would be to have a list of things that we need in order to move forward and tick it off, like a to-do list. We need a to-do list. Once we've done one thing, we can say we've done that, move on to the next, and keep it within a community that's helping and using any assets that we've got. For example, I didn't just lay my head down after I was a victim of crime, and I don't feel any remorse against the person who done it, because it's just a situation. You're out there surviving. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do, and your emotions might take the better of you. But I didn't just lay my head and bury my head in the ground. I went out there and still tried to do stuff for myself. For example, I've got a streaming network that's up and running, fully functional. It's like Netflix, but for the community. You can put what you want on there, obviously legal stuff, and charge what you want. There's no commission. You keep all the profit you want. Or say, for example, you charge 1p for access for people to see what you've got on there. All that one penny goes towards your account, so there's no commission involved. You keep every penny, and it just goes to it's a clear sign to show that we're giving stuff to people like YouTube and stuff like that for free. They're just,
What's it called?
Sorry?
What's it called?
DMB TV, Digital BR TV. So on Google Play Store. Sorry? Domain.
The domain.
Web domain. Yeah, dmbtv.co.uk. But it's actually a web application which will be going on all smart TVs. It's on my phone. I've actually got it in my car. I watch, anything that I put on there. It's got live radio. It can redirect you to any website. So if you want to sell tickets, whatever, just look into it, and I'm going to leave the information down there for you. But like these guys were saying at the front panel, and I really appreciate these guys for putting this together, so give them a round of applause, please. As one of them mentioned, we've got the resources here, we've got to use it, and we've got to get used to using it. There's my good friend over there, he's writes books. He's got a distribution company as well. So like I said, and that's just one person, and I'm sure you guys know other people. The resources are here, so just take advantage of it. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. I just want to say quickly, what's your name, brother? Wesley. You see that to-do list? I think you should write it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And let everybody see it. Like that lady, I forget her name, one that's talking about the hub. Michelle. Yeah. We can make that happen on that. That could be the first thing to do on the to-do list, and we make that a reality because we can come here and chat. Yeah. If we don't make my sister's thing a reality, it's long. So you do the to-do list, and we build up my sister's thing. Can we have somebody on the other side there, please? Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. My name is Pastor Gavin. They call me Pastor G. Respect to the panel was there. Just one comment that I would like to draw is that I don't see any young people sitting in front of you. Very young person, school going.
Hold on.
I understand that, but today most of us are sitting here, and the things that have been happening amongst most of the school-going youth and the college, those in universities. And I think sometimes when we sit there, and I've been to enough panels, the work that you do, some of you already know, I've been here for years doing it, since 2001. I'm also a product of the young man who said I was shot. I was a product of a young man, my brother, who died at the hands of a gang in South Africa. I'm a product of apartheid. 40 years I spent under apartheid. So I've come a long way through the struggles. The man who was responsible for my brother's death, he works for my program. It's all about forgiveness. You cannot deal with yourself with somebody else if you haven't dealt with yourself. You can't deal with another person and give advice if you haven't taken advice yourself. That is where we are. We need men who can do the things of men and fathers in this place. The fathers has given up. You heard it there earlier.
Not all of them.
Wait, I'm not finished. They are fathers who I have a great respect. He's sitting right behind me. I'll be disrespectful if I say everybody.
No.
There are mothers who play the roles of fathers, and rightfully so, and are doing a great job. I didn't grow up with a father, and I didn't grow up with my brothers and siblings, simply because of poverty, and as you know, I already said I come from South Africa. And I long for that, and the day they took him away from me, it turned my life around, and I went from spending 20 years in the military, and a country that oppressed me, I became an oppressor myself. But there's the good thing about that. Today, the man who killed my brother is responsible for changing other men's lives simply because somebody gave him another chance.
That's right.
And that is what I wanted to bring to you. Don't hate the person. I hated him. But when he sat down and he told us his life story, his life was nothing else but what he learned from in the house, the murders, the fathers, the brothers, those all killed around him, the drugs that were sold and everything that happened around him. And he took all that on board and he became like them. He said it was easy to kill your brother because it was just another person in my life that I wanted to get rid of. And today he changes the lives of so many men and women inside the prisons. Today I just came back from one of the prisons up the road, Felton. It's like a minefield in there. They say they're standing close to a riot in that prison. There's no talent in there. There's no men and women going there daily and give their time. I would like to see what we emerge from here to take it into the prisons where 55% of our young black people are sitting inside and working in prison. Simply because they stepped out of line, and yes, some of them killed, and yes, some of them stole. And another thing that we need to get right, now I appeal to the panel. And I've been talking to the police for this, and they're pretending a deaf ear deliberately. It's getting rid of organized crime that is responsible for the amount of money that our young people are chasing daily because they become like them, because they drive the best sports cars, they have the best homes, the best of everything, and they're looking for role models. Yeah. Don't let your child or son or daughter look for a role model in somebody else. Be the role model for them. Stuff.
say enough respect to everybody in the place. I'm going to do what my brother Floyd did. I'm going to come to the front. I came from the same place that Floyd Jarrett came from. My name is Stefan Scott. I'm not going to give you a right everybody at the moment. Enough respect, enough respect, enough respect. Alright, so I don't want to hog the floor or anything here. First thing I want to say, and I want to make is absolutely clear, I have 2 children, Tamara and Kai Scott. Love them to the bone, proud of them, and I come from Tottenham, right here. Love them to the bone, they've been to university, they're going to university, they're great kids. I'm not here because my kids, even though this could catch them, I'm not here because my kids are caught up in this thing. Let me start this properly. In 2 days' time, it's going to be my 58th birthday. That means that 18 years ago, 2 days' time, we buried Burnley Ground. Yeah. We're in the Burnley Ground Centre. Some people might not like what I say, but that man touched me.
Yes,
touched
me
me
too.
When he touched me,
Yeah.
before he touched me, I'd have made similar presentations to the presentations I hear there today, and I've heard some lovely things. But when the man touched me, he made me understand that everything that happens, there is a context. We can come here and we can say it's purified. Right? We can say it's our fault. But that would be to deny the elephant in the room. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Who's been invited to the engagement in the mayor's office on Wednesday? 3 people. All right. 3 people. Because that's where the power is. That's where the decisions are being made. The decisions are being taken that are impacting our young people. Yes, we have some young people out there. I like what Mark says, they're collectives. Like when we were growing up, crews and posses. I don't understand about gangs, they're formal structures. Right? A lot of people are doing a lot of soul searching, a lot of people are doing a lot of hand wringing, a lot of people are doing a lot of finger pointing. But I'm going to say this one thing to everybody. Right? Hear me good. If your body's with a root cancer, and you choose just to deal with the symptoms, and dead, you are not dead. Right? And dead, you are not dead. And forgive me, brothers, I love them. I hear some wicked talk up here, but every single speech I heard said, let's deal with the symptoms. Deal with the elephant in the room. Don't be shy. I Tottenham this. 4 people have died in this borough recently because of foolishness, not to do drugs. It does get a bit fired by social media, but it's because of the drivers, man. This is Haringey. We have youths in this borough who have been part of Operation Shield. I hear a man. Have you been talking about the gang matrix? Has anyone told him about the gang matrix here? No. We have the gang matrix in our bag. Top secret police document. That's where it starts. And if you don't start with the gang matrix, guys, we're not talking. And we're not dealing with the cancer, the root, we're going to be dead. Right? That's it. I don't really know clocks, and I don't want to take away from what everyone's saying here today. So all I'm going to say is this: I'm holding a meeting on Friday. This isn't just about a plug. Yisreal said I can do this, most respect, and I will only talk about the causes. When you come into the meeting, and I hope people come, nobody, no disrespect, come here projects too, I've run projects here and everywhere, no one can come into that space and talk about projects. There's space to talk about projects, we need to talk about projects. The projects is the aftercare. But I want to talk about the prevention. And the only way we prevent is we take on this devil. And you have to go to the head. You have to cut out the snake. And let me say one last thing. It's a positivity and solutions, yeah? We have to go to the head, the man's going to the head. If you come to the meeting on Friday, I'll start to discuss some of that. Put this, sorry, I don't want to do a plug, it's a Moorfield Road, Tottenham, the Kurdish Centre, you'll get that. But hear this good, put a date in your diary. The 8th of May, put this date in your diary. When I see nobody I move, put the date in your diary. The 8th of May, the whole entire platform out there is going to change. The whole debate and discussion is going to change. To take on these people, we need those who have equal parity and equal power. So we've got some people on board. On the 8th of May, the whole discussion will go back to what it should be. The impact of institutionalized racism on our communities. And on the 8th of May, we won't just be talking about institutionalized racism from the police, but like God, where we let down our children was where we let them set up a process right underneath our noses. That is just like the process that they have in America. It's about mass incarceration. It's about classing them, stigmatizing them at a very early age, marginalizing them, isolating them, calling them gangsters, isolating and marginalizing them from us. That's why they behave in the way they behave. And if we're going to do anything about it, we have to turn up and be coded properly. Right? So enough respect. That is beautiful to see such a beautiful black audience, man. I pray somebody will come to my thing. I hope you come up with solutions. I belong to everybody on the platform. Love you.
1 minute, staff. Listen. 1 minute. Yisreal. 1 minute, Stefan, 1 second. I ain't even gonna lie. This man has put in so much work in Tottenham, yeah? And I was thank you, my brother. Every time, yeah? Yes. Alright. Big up stuff. Can we have somebody over that side, my brother? And then we can come back to this side.
Hello. I got my here. Israel's Courtney.
Yes, Courtney, respect.
Hello everybody, my name is Courtney Brown. I'm the founder of Father to Father. I'm here with my colleague David Money from Comunity, Children and Family Services. Uncle Stafford mentioned something there, and it is about starting with the system. He mentioned, and I'm talking about a system with the education system. Yeah. 2 years ago, remember, I'm the founder of Father to Father. I went into school and saw the head teacher pinning down my 6-year-old son. That was on the back of 1 year of targeting my family. I went into the school as a professional, because I work in a school. Yeah, I'm a parent liaison, I deal with Black Boy Achievement. So I went in there thinking professional to professional. He didn't look at me as a professional. He saw me as a black father and the stereotyping that came with it. Asked my wife if I beat her up at home. Challenged my faith, the church I go to, everything he's tried to throw at me. Because the God I serve, I stand strong. Yeah? I told him straight, the wrong father you're dealing with. Yeah? So what we have to do is understand the system and be able to, when I say understand, navigate through that system. Join up forces. I'm very fortunate that I am a core sponsor of Black Socks, because the people behind Black Socks came to help me. People that have been in the education system for 50 years, who knows it, people that have studied it and supported me. I sat in my son's school for 6 weeks until they moved my son. And I had a meeting with the head of education for Enfield, told him straight, I'm not sending my son back to the slave master. Move my son now, or I'll blow this thing up. They move him quick. Yeah? We have to understand the system. Yeah? Panel, thank you. This is needed. It is about consortium working. It is about coming together as a community. We do have to work, and I'm going to tell you, we do have to work with our own trauma, because there's a lot of big egos out here. Yeah? And we have to work with that. Yeah? Because trust me, I'm telling you, I got a big ego and I'm owning it. Yeah? But I'm not afraid to say, if everybody knows me, I'm very vulnerable and transparent. Yeah? So transparent that the reason why I started that Father to Father, because who don't know my dad in there? Well, I'm from Bulldog Farm. Yeah? Who know my dad Patty in here? Yeah? Bully. And I'm original, my lineage starts at Bulldog Farm, Tottenham. But you know what? My dad was one of them bad men. And I tried to follow his example. I've got 4 boys. My oldest is 28, 24, 13 and 8 with 2 grandchildren. I had to then turn around, because when I came from a victim, I thought I was a victim of my absent father, I then became the perpetrator. So I did exactly what my dad did to my sons. Until 6 years ago, I had to apologize to their mums and apologize to my sons who were big men. Yeah? And I took their lessons. I took their cussings. Yeah, no. I took their cussings because their pain was real. Yeah, because I recognized the pain because I was at that age myself. Yeah, for 6 months. And that's what I'm saying for those dads, for those dads that are out there, reconnect with your sons and daughters. Yeah, there's nothing more precious than when you
have your sons and daughters come back in our house. Because when my sons came back, when God put those boys back in my house, it don't matter how much champagne, women and money I was making, it's having my boys and me having a second chance to be the best father I can to their boys. Yeah? That's what I'm talking about. There's no pain, no shame, no guilt. We have to mend and heal as a community. Mums and dads are working at school. When your boys and daughters, your sons and daughters are talking to me in the school, they're telling me, sir, Mr. Brown, when I don't see my dad. Why? Because my mum stopped me from seeing them. Mr. Brown, my dad's not there. Why? Working too hard or raving. Listen, that's where the pain's coming from. That's why we're seeing the trauma in our communities. Yeah? We have to start healing. And with that, again, gentlemen, love you all. I'll speak to you all later, yeah? Thank you.
Respect. My sister.
Hello, my name's Michelle, another Michelle. Shout out to all the Michelles. I'd just like to say that I'm a social worker. I work in children and families. And what I'd like to say is that, you know, I know it's not a male sort of banging thing. I'm not into that. What I want to say is that I've seen a lot of women, they're losing their resilience and they're looking after. There's lots of, all the families I go to, there's no fathers. And I think, just at the back of what this man's saying, but I'd like to spin it around a little bit and say that sometimes we are worst enemies. And sometimes what we're saying is that we're hiding killers and everything, but we're also allowing our family members not to see. We're saying it's okay. We're not challenging our families. Yeah. Everyone in my family, if they say to me that they're not seeing their kids, I will challenge them. They won't be around me or they won't feel comfortable around me. I will challenge them. And I think we need to stand that out in our community that, you know, we just allow it to be a norm. Yeah. We don't challenge someone in the car that says, I haven't seen my kids for 4 years. Challenge them. Encourage them and challenge them in love. The other thing I'd like to say is that, you know, a lot of people are sort of reaching out to South Africa and people that don't have or something like that or in poverty. But there are lots of people that I go into their homes. They are spiritually and emotionally poor. And mental health in women, in black women, I've never seen it like that before. We need to be really resilient and now we're losing our resilience and that's an issue. So what I'd like to say to everybody is that, you know, look in your own families, you know, everything's doing really, I've got some ideas for some projects and some link up to some people that talk today. But look in your own families, you know, look at the kid that, you know, that the mum's on her own, you know, take them out, do some things with them, look in your own families and support your own families as well as outwards, inward out. That's what I'd like to say. Thank you.
Yes.
Sorry, this lady here, she was a bit shy, so I'm just going to encourage my sister just to say something.
All right, thank you. I'll try and keep this brief. Just first and foremost, one love family, and thank you all for bringing us here together. Thank you to my brother Yisreal for inviting me down. One love. Just to qualify what I'm about to say, because it's all about solutions, but I'm just going to give you a very, very brief background. I grew up, like most of us, in an estate. By the age of 16, I'd experienced homelessness, held at gunpoint, had disarmed people trying to attack me, all kind of madness. By the age of 26, my life turned around. I studied law, I practiced law, I was in the Royal Courts of Justice, the Old Bailey, defending some of the people that we hear about and hear some of the stories. And it's just one of them I want to share with you because I think it, for me, brings home that the people we're hearing about doing the killing are victims too, and we can't forget that. There was one leader I defended in the Old Bailey who was 22 at the time, and he got into an argument with a taxi driver over a £5 difference in the fare. He stabbed the man with such force 15 times that the tip of the blade broke off in the man's head. The taxi driver did have a metal pole and he was using that. It's not clear who struck who first, but the fact of the matter is the taxi driver died. He was, after 2-week trial, he was sentenced on the Monday to life in Belmarsh. On the Wednesday, I got a call to say he was found hanging in his cell the night before. When I looked into this youth's background, he had suffered abuse from day one. His first interaction with the police was being called to his defense because of the abuse he was suffering from his mum. And it made me understand why he had a twisted jaw. It's because he suffered physical abuse and violence. His father wasn't around and his mother was workless. And that is the ultimate root cause. Yes, definitely institutional racism has played its part. It's geared us in this direction, but now it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. And unless we as parents, brothers, sisters, cousins, uncles, aunties, everybody in the community play our part, it's never going to change. Final point, and this is the solution bit. Maximum respect to those of you that are involved in charity work. I've gone around, I've done speaking and things like that myself. I was in the process for the past 12 months of thinking about setting up a charity, but it doesn't make sense because every one of us has the capability and the solution and the power in this room. We need one organization. There's one government and there's one system that has put us in this predicament. It's only one system and one government that we have to create to get us out. So the solution for me, my wife and I worked till the morning to put this together. It's a QR code. I'm going to put it up the front. It's a simple form. You put your name, nickname, if you don't want to put your real name. State what your skill is, whether you're a nurse, a midwife, a doctor, a carpenter, a mathematician, a teacher, it doesn't matter. What skill, what money, what are you prepared to do today and commit to it. If it's an hour a week, an hour a year, a day, it doesn't matter. Do it or just be done.
Can we get the mic afterwards to that gentleman in the red? I saw his hand go up when this thing kicked off, yeah? Right there, and he's just been sitting patient the whole time. So in the red, at the top of the back, he's been patient the whole time. From the time it kicked off.
Okay, thanks. Greetings, family. My name's Sister Shanice. I'm a presenter on Galaxy Radio. And I just want to rise up the panel for putting together this event. It's great to see all the man them as well up there as well, standing up for the community, representing. Nice one. And you know, rise up everybody here as well for coming out tonight as well, because you know we're all concerned about what's happening in our community. First of all, I want to say, you know, my heart goes out to everybody that's lost a loved one. You know, can't imagine anything worse than that. My heart goes out to you all. And I want to also, very importantly, you know, rise up the hundreds of thousands of really good children that we've got within our community. Because also often we forget that the vast majority of our children are really good children. Yeah? But what's also happening, I see, is that they're being smeared, all of our youth are being smeared by the works of just a handful of children within our community. And it's by design, this smearing as well, because what I see is a very kind of frenzied, kind of racist, journalistic profiling of our young people, to the point where even our young people are scared of themselves and anyone who looks like them. And that's a real big problem. And the reporting is such that it makes a lot of young people who maybe wouldn't even think of carrying a knife or at all feel as though they need to do so for protection. And then what happens is when you know, these incidents happen, you get this call now for the to bring back stop and search. And we know what happens with stop and search. It humiliates our entire community. It gives the impression that all of our young people are criminals. It leads to more arrests, which leads to more of our young people ending up in prison as well. And as we know, prison is a business. And that's what it's about. And it's our children that are fueling as well the judicial system. We're the ones off the back of the pain of our children that are keeping lawyers in work, probation officers, social workers. The whole machinery revolves around our young people. In terms of solutions, yes, there's the mayor's meeting happening on Wednesday. I heard about it and very quickly went on to Eventbrite and booked to go to that meeting. I feel that the solutions need to happen on a multiplicity of levels. We've talked about our role and what we need to do as individuals, as family members, and as the community. Very, very important. We need to bring back our culture. We need to bring back our way of life. We've integrated too much and adopted another alien culture that has destroyed our way of life. So we need to bring back our culture. We need to bring back the extended family. We heard about mental health. Within the extended family, you wouldn't get mental health because the support would be within the family. You wouldn't have elderly on their own. The support within them would be within the family. You wouldn't have children coming home to an empty home. Grandma would be there. Grandpa would be there. Bring back the extended family. Yeah, you wouldn't have 10 members of the family paying 10 council tax, 10 gas bill, 10 electric bill, everybody in at one house, yeah, and supporting each other. So we need to bring back the extended family, and we also need to be the ones in the family that are building family businesses. We can't expect other people from other races to be providing the jobs for our children. We're the ones who need to be providing the jobs for our children, yeah? And we are the generation that need to make the sacrifice for the futures. Yeah, it's not as if we don't have it. We need to be pooling our resources together collectively and buying the buildings and buying whatever it is that's needed in order to provide for the future. And we need to look beyond these borders as well. Some of us getting too comfortable here. Let's see what I'm do.
True.
Now, they're sending back our grandparents. It's not too long before they're going to look to send us back as well. This was happening during the Elizabethan time. It was happening within the Victorian times. It's just history repeating itself in another guise. Yeah. So solutions on a multiplicity of levels. Right? Back in the 80s when I was active, we had black sections in the political parties. We had
time. Sorry to cut you like that. But what I've got to say, there's people that want to come in and people got bags on their chairs and them things. Then you got to pick up the bag and let people come in. If that's possible, thank you. Sister, please. 1 minute, I did speak to this lady at the mic and I'm going to give it to Mikey straight after. Yeah, please, 2 minutes everybody. I want about 6 more people to talk and then we're going to go back over to the panel. Yeah, so 2 minutes everybody, please.
Good evening everybody. My name's Genevieve and I've come from Fulham in the Council for Fulham Borough today. I just want to make 2 quick points. The gentleman that spoke about the Fathers to Fathers organisation, was it? I just want to commend him for what he's doing, but I also want people to know that racism doesn't just exist in schools. When we're talking about institutional racism, I can give you an example for myself. So when I went to university, I studied a subject called International Relations and Politics. And in some classes, you already imagine the demographics of the class from the title of the course, being not only the only black person, but the only female at the same time in some classes. I was told, what is someone like you doing on this course? Why don't you go and kill yourself? Why don't you jump out the window? So believe me, this stuff is going on everywhere. People talk about workplaces and schools, but it's actually happening in universities, as we've seen in a recent BBC report as well. My other point is, so I come from Fulham. Fulham's not a very black area. I was actually inspired to come here because I saw Raspect and Jedi speak on the Victoria Derbyshire show.
Yes,
very eloquently. And I spread the word as well around the few black people in Fulham. I just want to make a point about the gentleman who did the rap earlier. I don't want to be negative, but I've got to make this point, and it's going to be difficult for me, but I'm going to say it. Thank you, brothers and sisters. You're so encouraging. We speak about, things started to disintegrate when, you know, men stopped being the head of the house. But I just want to challenge that for a moment. Is it Clifton from Fathers to Mothers? Sorry. Sorry, I don't know why I got that. Yeah, okay. Courtney, he made what he's doing, I think, is really important about people who are presently fathers. But I think we also need to speak about people who are going to be our future fathers and fathers to be. Now, before I arrived here about 5 minutes before this came, and before this started, I must say that a young gentleman rubbed himself up on me inappropriately. Okay? So, why I'm bringing up this point, and it's a very difficult point for me to make, but I think it's important. Why I'm bringing up this point is that these are the people that are going to be our future fathers. I've come from Fulham, okay? I'm not going to lie to you. Sorry to use this phrase, black event, but this is my first so-called black event, and I'm very upset right now. Very upset. Okay? These are... Sorry.
Let's get it into context.
Hello. Everybody. We must have someone in here to go and have a nice word with the lady.
No, I'm okay, sorry. I don't want people to think. I know a couple of people are, sorry to use the word, shouting me down. I don't want to be, it's like, I'm not irate, I'm just upset. I just think it was an important point to make. So what I'm saying is that, you know, I've heard comments from black people saying, well, black people say, oh, I don't date dark-skinned girls, referring to your sisters as bitches, rubbing yourself up on me today. I just want the men to adjust a bit. That's it.
Thank you, my sister. Yeah, no, of course.
Hello?
All right, come on now. Come on. It's not our hand. We have good people here. Let's slow it down.
Greetings, family. Greetings. Okay, my name's Mikey Jed on social network, or Michael Henry to those that know me. I'm a community worker. I've been working in my community for about 40 years. Mainly children's services. I'm not going to say no more about myself. All I want to do, I want to use this forum to ensure that we start something positive today. Okay, this is my idea. Somebody came up with it a little bit earlier on, and they spoke about £1 a week. All right? Okay, I'm happy for Dean, Leo, Mark Prince, the two Russes, Jedi. I'm happy for the fathers. I'm happy for these people to have my £1 a week. Yeah. So what I'd like to happen, Dean, Leo, and the rest of you guys, I would like you lot to be able to set up for maybe Monday morning, an account that I can put my £1 a week in. Yeah. I will do a direct debit for 1 year. So you get £52 a year from me, and then at the end of the year, I'll have a look and see what my money's been doing, and so on and so forth. However, what I'm saying is that if there's 250 people in this room, and let me check out the children, if there's 240 people in this room that start to put £1 in on Monday, yeah, and those 240 people talk to 10 people, and those 10 people get that account number and they're putting their pound, that's £2,400 a week. You know, obviously, if people wanted to donate today, that's fine, but what I'm trying to set up or see set up is something that is just ongoing. So what I'm going to suggest, I'm going to stop talking. What I'm going to suggest, guys, is you guys take the lead. I need to have an account number Monday morning that I can put my pound into, and I can continue to do that for a solid year. Yes? That's the way we're going to move forward. We're talking about positive change. We're talking about coming together. That £1 that each one of us is going to put on the table will bring us together, will help our agenda, and so on and so forth. That's my talking done.
Yes, sir. So, Max, very quickly, bear with me, to continue from what Mikey Drake just said. We have his vehicle. Now, me and Mark, the Bay Fund, absolutely. So what we would do is list them, but through the Cayenne Prince Foundation, that specifically is going to be for African Caribbean youth education. Now, we are seeking a high-level patron for the organization to bring in the attention from sports celebrities. However, what we are also going to be highlighting is the text donation for that system. So through the Cayenne Prince Foundation, we're forging links to all of the supplementary schools through Nia Emara has charted every single African Caribbean supplementary school. It's not about duplicating and listing, it's about signposting. Now, what Nia has done is taken much time from his own personal life to list all of them. So we have all of them. So when we raise that money, then it goes from being the foundation to a grant-making organization that is for prevention. Prevention is 6 to 12 years old. What my brother and Andrew Muhammad run right next to me, where my son attends when he's not sick, is WYLA, which is a leadership academy. They're happening all over London. Manhood Academy, WYLA, ICANN, Ultra Kids. We know who they are. Now we have a vehicle. These things we don't speak about publicly, but they've been happening behind the scenes in that we're forging consortium where we're having these joined up conversations.
Hi, my name's Maxine. I wasn't quite sure what I would say, but I knew I had to say something. My brother would have been approximately about 62 now. I lost him to the first knife crime in Tottenham, in High Cross. I was 9 years old at the time. Those that know me, I'm from Tottenham. I'm an original Tottenham, so anybody that knows George Coombs, Chicken George, that's how far back I go. And I don't say much and I don't speak much, but I'm quite active within my community, undercover. And there's a lot of people I see, and I say respect to a lot of people. I see so many faces that I know through one medium or another. I want to respect every man on there. Mark, my son's been to your program. I have 3 children. My oldest is 30. And her dad's not in her life. I have 2 others, married, divorced. And Mark stepped in as uncle, brother, dad, and so forth. And my son went on his program because he was at a point, my son was at a point where I couldn't control him as a mother on my own. And I don't care what any of you sisters say here, you can't raise your son by yourself. You can't do it. You don't have balls, they've got penis. You don't have those kind of things. So sometimes you mothers, you need to release up your sons and your children to the dads that you're stopping, like take your emotional needs out of your kids. Because I know many men that want to see their kids, and because of you lot's bullshit, they can't see them. So you need to flip that shit off the script. But there are a lot of women who can say the word of fathers, but some of you really need to take accountability too. Some of you need to take accountability too. I've said it, put me on camera, I've said it. Because where I would want my son to have access to his dad don't want to know, and I'm saying it publicly because I have raised him with the help of certain men from in my community. Certain men. So I have allowed those men who are role models to stand in the gap. So I'm telling some of you women, turn it around because they need role models. They need positive, and they are positive role models within your community. There's uncles, there's godfathers. You've got a godfather by the name of Nigel who runs something called Pan-African Thought. You guys need to hook him up because he's got a good educational system. And I heard about healing. Some of us need a whole lot of healing, you know? Whole healing. And we're not getting the healing that we actually need. Jedi, I know you. I've known you for years. And I do a lot of fashion and beauty and modelling and all of this. I'm going to turn to Sharon. Do you know, Sharon, you know how long I've been wanting to come in your building to do something? So I'm asking you now, give me permission to bring some youth in here to do something in the building. Give me permission if you've got the right to do that, because I went to see Bertie Grant, and I'm into the arts, and I'm into creative, and I would like turned the Stanford up, we still kept going. It's called Project 7 Dance. And now we want to extend it, we want to do a whole heap more. So I'm looking for facilitators that are in the arts. If there's any creatives in here that want to get involved, holler at me.
You got one right here.
Thank you very much. Dance, music, beauty, fashion, anything to do with the creative arts, music. Perhaps I know you. We go back a long way. So come and talk to me. I'm ready to be part of the solution because we haven't got the youth clubs no more. We ain't got nowhere for it to go. We want hubs, places where they can go. But nobody can't trouble them, and we've got enough barriers, enough safe hubs around that they can go. Because that's one of the key problems. There's nowhere for our kids to go. There is nowhere for them to go. Mums, I'm going to say it again. Release and picnic them to the fathers that want to see the argument. Free up. Free up.
Everybody's emails. But before we hear from any more of the elders and the wisdoms in the room, can we hear from any young people? If there are any young people that would like to ask questions, so please, there you go.
My name is Brandon. First and foremost, I just want to say today is a good day for everything to express your feelings and everything. I think it's time for the young youth to express their feeling other than what the parents are feeling also as well. I'm from Southgate, so it's not a predominantly black area, obviously. So I go to a white school, not a lot of black teachers. I've only got one maths black teacher. To also say that I study sociology, so I think that is one of the main things that we should start doing. And as a solution, then there's no role models in schools anymore for us black children at all. At all. We have organisations which is good, but I think it starts with the young people. Yes. They need to be, there's mentors, but I think the young people need to be mentors to need to make a trend for other people to start doing these things, start making these organisations. Mentors are good, but I think it starts with the young people first and foremost. And I think with the help of mentors, parents, everything, we can do it. I think we can do it. So,
Robin, 1 minute. Robin, yeah.
Give thanks for the microphone, first of all. Brother, I want to give you this book first. Prison to the Street, that's for the young man right there. Let me come downstairs. Alright, guys, we talk about action, we talk about solution, right? Right? Yes. I'm at the end of my tether in terms of talking about what my solution was to the issues that's going on. It's frustrating that we're reactive people rather than active people. That's fine. Big up the reactiveness because it's still linking us together. So I'm not going to be negative. 6 years ago, there was a book launch in this room for a book called Prisoner to the Streets. Who heard about that? Yeah. Oh, a lot of people, yeah? Cool. Prisoner to the Street. Prisoner to the Street wasn't an autobiography. Prisoner to the Street was explaining to people what the hell is going on. 6 years ago, I would have been 26. Does that put me in the young category? No? Yes, no, I need to hear from the youth. 26, is that young? But we keep saying we want to hear from the young people, right? I don't believe you. I'm getting older now, Yisreal, right? Yeah? I'm not going to take another story. So the point I'm making is, I wrote a book 6 years ago. It's not about my story. It's about an individual who grew between Hackney and Tottenham, who also grew between Holly and London Street and Holly Street, sorry, London Fields and Holly Street, before any beef was present. How important is that? So that's important for the genesis, the beginning of the story. Everyone keeps talking about the solution, but no one's looking at, like they said, cancer. How are you going to treat the cancer if you don't know what the cancer is? A lot of your information comes from media, older people, like this young man said. A lot of the young people are not really here attending those events. And a lot of the time when young people do talk, if I'm totally honest with you, you're not going to get the truth because that's the age where we front the most. So you're not going to get an honest description from us of what the streets are. So we need to use wisdom and apply that wisdom. Now the wisdom that I chose to use was to get into my older self, look at the younger me, analyze it, study it, even went to uni, got youth justice and criminology degree to explain what we're up against. I was the first person who brought the argument that there's no such thing as gangs. I said that 6 years ago. Nobody weren't hearing me then. I was the first. And I said, why? Everyone was like, of course there's gangs. I said, no. You're focusing on the wrong things. That's media label. When happening Tottenham boys were growing up, we weren't gangs, we were friends. How do I know? Because I went primary school with every single one who went to war with each other. This isn't a story from someone who thinks that they have the answers from being born and just, there's experience. I was the first person to get stabbed in this so-called postal war. Is that important?
Yeah.
Is it important? So then the story must be important, right? Because it explains to you the mindset. Everybody keeps talking about knife crime, gun crime. No such thing. What's it going to be this year? Acid crime? It's a mindset. Now, there's lots of elders who I respect up here and all over the place that the only way this is going to work, guys, is for people like me not to be begging to get heard. Because the sad thing is I've got more wisdom than you actually think. It's not ego-based, it's experience-based. And do you know that that book I've written, Prison to the Streets, sorry, first of all, where's he gone? Kumari's dad. I was told, wherever you are, love and respect to you, King. I was told that the young man who killed his son read Prison to the Street and confessed because of reading it and said he's sorry. Now, whether he means that sorry or not is not for me to say. But my question that really got to me, why wasn't this in the media? I got a phone call from the Guardian, but I know the answer to the question. I got a phone call from the Guardian, and all that it talked about was how the guy's parents didn't get the support from Brent Council. And what the cry out for that. But I keep saying, why are we going to them to solve our problems? Which everyone's saying today. I said that 6 years ago, right on the stage. But no one wasn't coming because it wasn't something someone that got killed. It wasn't 50 plus killings, so no one didn't really care. It was just like, oh, he's written a book, that's guy, nice for a black guy. No, it's not. I've got solutions. I was meant to write the book with the guy who stabbed me. How powerful is that? Yisreal, where are you? The other day, did I not bring a guy who I stabbed on stage with me? That's someone separate to the person I was going to write the book. How did I achieve that? There's something, before you clap, just the point I'm making is, because I don't like to keep talking and hear me guys, I've got some form of solution here, man. Please listen to me. How was that achieved? Do you not know? I don't know anyone who's done that outside of my own remit. But yet, no one wants to hear this guy. He's just trying to sell his books. Don't talk about the books I've given away for free, though. Don't talk about the fact that I've been homeless for the last 3 years, though. None of that stuff, you guys. Because everyone's losing the focus. My brother Mark Prince, nothing but respect for him. We've done work in schools. We've gone to school. People talk about solution. Let me break this down real quick, because I know these are going to get frustrated. Solution-based. I've done talks with this guy here, and we've left the room shattered. Every child, tears. I'm talking guys that will come to school like this. I've seen them break down in front of Mark and hug Mark, where me and Mark start talks together. Now, I've said to Mark many times, Mark will tell you, Mark, yeah, bro, come and do a talk in the school. What do I say, Mark? No. And what's my reason why I say no? I say because it's frustrating, Mark, to keep reliving the past and telling my story to strangers. And I don't know how Mark Prince does it, because his son's been killed. Time. I'm going to finish this. I'm going to make sure I finish it. You get the point I'm making. This is important. You can't rush time for things important. I'm trying my best. So the point I'm going to make is right now. I've said to Mark, the only way we can tackle this, because everyone wants solutions. So let's think of a solution. Why don't we because prevention is better than cure. And it frustrates me because we haven't got no sense. So if prevention is better than cure, and we have a couple tools that work, how do we make those tools effective? We have a strategy, we have a plan, and we go forward. Big up everybody who's intervening, because that's another process that is important. Big up gang, my brothers, big up, important. I've been saying this for years. I've actually written a web series, 3 seasons long. I wrote about gang before they invented themselves, because this has been bothering my mind for years. And we weren't going to just go in and talk to the kids, do you understand? So, the point is, get someone like me and Mark in school, and all these people here who bring substance, something real. Get us into the schools from year 5 to 6th form, all over the country. Guess why? And I know we're fighting a system that doesn't want to let that happen, but guess why? Because if you can change the mindset of the young people who think stabbing's cool, like I did, if you can get to them from a young mindset, and you can have that consistently for a period of time, I put my life in it, that knife crime will drop. I put my life in it, that knife crime will drop. But as far as I know, this is just an opinion, right? This is just an opinion. Mark, do you think we're capable of doing that? Yes or no? Standard. Standard. Now, my frustration before I leave, brothers and sisters, do not doubt the message of prison to the street, because there's no gang members. Prison to the street is a mentality. You can access the prison via different means. You could be a young boy who wants to sell drugs, you want to get newest Nikes, so you bow down to a certain style of living, enter your sentence. That's your sentence. It could be me, I got stabbed, I want my pride, my shame, my fear. I'm now starting my sentence. This book should be studied by universities. This book has been used as dissertation in universities, but not everybody in this book, this room knows about this book. And this book is important, and the lady, big up, I've got a second book. Would you believe the second book's called Mama Can't Raise No Man? So we're on the same page right now. And I'm saying the same things you said in that book. We have 54 5-star reviews on Amazon, which say, from single black mothers, this guy is the truth. This guy took, why? Because I didn't make it. I sat down with black mothers. I sat down with black fathers, and I put the picture together, because it's not my opinion. So let me take myself out of the ego. And guys, I have a skill, which is writing. I'm not great at talking. There's messages that can be took from those books and used for your children. Guys, let's get onto this. And I know this isn't for you guys, but we have our own battles here as individuals to get into the schools. We're fighting, that's the next battle. But big up the church who funded $1,500 for me to give that guy a free book. And big up the other people who, we need literature, definitely. And people who've never read a book have read my book, who've never read a book in their life. That also includes that we're teaching them to read. They need to know black history, yes. None of them are going to read Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X without something basic first. We have to get them into reading. Do you understand? Do you guys understand? This is a plan. How do we now, let's just execute the plan. I'm done, I don't want no more time. Guys, support. The books are outside. I'm going in a bit, I might leave for this summer. Any young people, one more thing, any young people who don't have any money, come and see me right now in the back. I've got 2 books for you to give to you for free.
Can I see my hand?
Any young people, done, thank you.
Hello.
For all the young people to come and collect a copy at the end that don't have money, but can I see the hand on?
Chris was just showing me his book, sorry, A Product of My Environment by Chris as well. And this is another book, and you want to know stories, the best way to fix a problem is to understand it, and you're not going to find that in Top Boy, Bullet Boy, and none of those films. Because it starts from the teenage stage. My book starts from before I became a prisoner to the streets. Sorry to go on. I always get asked the question by BBC, ITV, everybody, I turn them down. What made you reform, bro, Mr. Travis? I said, nothing made me reform. The question we need to be looking at is what made me become a prisoner to the street. That's the question. Figure that out when you solve the problem. That's what I've done. Thank you for
Hi everybody. I'm really sorry. I have to go, but I wanted to let you know that my name's Pauline. I'm a senior lawyer for Hackney Council. I run a team of lawyers. I deal with antisocial behaviour, prosecution, civil litigation, all kinds of things. I have been working with other black lawyers because we are distraught, and I want to say how sorry I am as somebody who's had to fight through the system to have forgotten the youth that are coming up behind me. And we want to offer our services. I've given my details, and I want every single legally qualified black lawyer or any lawyer who thinks they can offer assistance to get involved. So any help we can give, I will be happy to do it. So thank you so much for you guys. We just have to work together because it's been hard for all of us. Thank you.
Alright, sorry, yeah, so listen. In the interest of time, I'm going to be quick, and this means I'm going to talk with a level of honesty that I never really do. My name is Tariq Keys. Some of you I know of you in there, some of you I don't. I have an organisation we're called ROAD. ROAD is an acronym for Righteous, Organised, Always Determined. 2 years ago, in Northumberland Park, I opened up this foundation on 6,000 square feet of space, built onto a church sanctuary, yeah? Independently. We offer a range of programs and that, but I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm here to just talk to you about what we have. I have 6,000 square feet of space, a large sanctuary that can accommodate up to 250 people. I have a training room with Max and all kinds of teachers and trainers. I'm pretty sure a load of you in here are skilled enough to teach and do things. I want to put that on the table. I don't need your money. Yeah, money is what ruined the streets in the first place. Yeah? I'm not trying to sell nothing. I will open and close the doors. You know one thing that I really love, Mr. Leo Mohammed, yeah? You spoke on Speaker's Corner in Fort Park, Message to the Black Man. I saw that video. This has to be 100% black. I'm sorry, you might not want to take it from me, but the reality is that Burning Ground is not a black building. We cannot discuss real transformation and change if we've got non-blacks with us, because this is a black issue. Whether you like to talk about it, yeah? Okay. Now to give you a little bit of context of myself, yeah? Like I said, I'm going to speak with a level of honesty I don't usually do, yeah? I'm involved in a lot of institutions, yeah? I'm part of a lot of institutions, yeah? A lot of them. From the secret ones to the obvious ones. I will be at the city meeting in whatever, what they want to call it. I'm a free man of the City of London. I was given an Esquire title in 2011. Forget all of these institutions. Go and Google the definition of society. Last year, October, I was invited to number 10 Downing Street and I sat with Theresa May and her husband. Do you know who her husband is? Do you know what her husband does for a living? Have you ever seen Theresa May do her job? Do you know what Theresa May's job is? I heard Stafford Scott speak about Shield. I was at the Shield meeting at 639 2 years ago. Yeah, not the other day when man started dying. Man been dying on these streets. Yeah, Shield. Let me explain Shield for the mothers in here. Yeah, because this is important. If your son is arrested under joint enterprise, you will not be charged. Under Shield, you will be charged for civil crimes. So if you don't pay your council tax and your son's a drug dealer, they're going to kick you out of your yard. You didn't know that one, but when we was in 639 2 years ago, voting that out of Haringey, I was there. Yeah, so I'm not speaking from a position of no information. I work hard, I work long. Just if you were there. Last year, £250,000 was given by the DCMS, the Department of Culture, Media and Sport, to Northumberland Park. Northumberland Park organised a board called the NPPB, Northumberland Partnership Board, or whatever they want to call themselves. They organised a community voting day. Yeah? 17 organisations funded between 5k or 505k. They cut up the rest of the pot amongst themselves before time anyway. So there was a 40 grand pot. They cut that up already. So the 5k pots are around. 17 funds. No, not one. There's a room that looked like this. Do you know what? When I got here, brothers, most of the young people are waiting to come inside. They're out there. I hustled my way in there, you know. Skirt through the staircase and came and I stood. They gave me a seat. There's my G up there. Yeah? I'm 26. Most of the young people are not in this room. They're outside. Yeah? This room, I'm not talking about outside in the streets. I'm talking literally outside the door, out of the lobby. The people that need to hear this. Yeah? I'm just talking about the things. At that Northumberland Partnership Board, they did it in a way where they called it a community voting day. This is how they absorb themselves from responsibility. The community voted for this, so therefore it's what the community wants. I'm going to be honest with you, the community don't know what they want. Yeah, they don't know what they want. I saw trips, Parkview Academy School, a school, I saw them funded 5k to take kids from the school to Geneva on a trip for 7 days and bring them back. For what? For what? I saw them fund some other organisation. I'm not even going to drag anybody else underneath the bus, but I saw them fund another organisation, another 5k, to have a little cookout on Northumberland Park Estate. Do you think that the guys who were in the position that raised this funding for the crisis on the block are invited to that community cookout? Brother, my office is on Northumberland Park, 46 Manor Road, yeah? 6,000 square feet of space. If you would like to use it, somebody approach me. It's open, it's free. When I tell you free, I'm not here to build my organisation through your organisation or nothing. Just come and meet in peace and get on with what you're getting on with. Love and respect, my brother.
My brother, you're next. 2 minutes, that's it. One more person. Ebony, did you want to speak? No? All right.
Hello.
Yeah, greetings family. Yeah, less than 2 minutes I'm gonna be. Yeah, first of all, excuse me 1 second. Let me just read something on there. Yeah, before I make my point, I just want to read something that's on this treaty. Because the flyer that I got today had this treaty on it. Yeah, and one of the points says, when I see a black woman on the street, I will hail and acknowledge. Sorry, I'm reading the wrong one, you know. Sorry, when I will look at no black woman as less than a queen, because the black woman is the mother of all civilization and we must protect her. Now, I'm reading that because I'm kind of vexed right now, because her sisters got up in this meeting and said an experience that she had in this meeting, and she was laughed at in this meeting. Now, when we talk about solutions, and yeah, we need solutions, but in this meeting right now, there's some problems that we still ain't dealt with. My dad always says, if you go to the doctors and you say you've got a headache, he might give you an aspirin. But if the headache is caused by a brain tumor, the aspirin's going to cover up the headache, but it's still going to kill you. So the treaty that we've come here to honor today has been broken in this building today, and we laugh at the sister that brings it up. I'm sorry, I
didn't see no one laughing. I didn't see no one.
Listen, on the family, I stood up next to people who was laughing. No violation, but I stood up next to people who was laughing. Yeah? And she was heckled down, and other people are agreeing with what I'm saying, so there must be people up there who was laughing too. Yeah? And I'm saying, if we are coming together, and this is one of the things, I've been born on this, in this conscious community and on liberation, or people in here know my organization and know my dad. I've been born into this. So I've seen organizations come up and I've seen organizations fail. I've seen different institutions come up and I've seen institutions fail. And I can tell you from 1987 to from when I was born till now, why these things keep failing over and over again. Yes, we need to talk to the young people and engage with them. I'm only 30. Some people say I'm not young no more. But when we talk to the young people, there are people who are still young with experience who know why things keep failing over and over and over again. We speak of family. One of the reasons why our families keep failing, because we're raising our sons not to respect our women. It's as simple as that. We see it on a regular basis. Yeah, and the last thing I'm going to say is this. Yeah, we need to get our families sorted, but the next thing we need to address, there's layers to this thing, and there's so many things I want to say, but due to time, I'm going to say this last thing. You see, when we talk about trauma, yeah, I've worked with young people who have been abused by family members, fathers, uncles, grandfathers, mothers, grandmothers, yeah? I've worked with people who have killed people. When you sit down and you hear their story, it brings you close to tears, listening to what they've had to go through and they've been through. One thing as a community that we don't like to deal with is things like domestic violence, things like abuse. It's going to come to a stage, people, we're going to have to deal with the trauma that has been beaten upon us. If we don't deal with this trauma, we can have all the institutions in the world, we can have all the schools, we can have all the workplaces, we can have all the businesses, we can have all the institutions that we need. But if the people running it are still suffering from that same trauma, it don't mean nothing, because it's still going to fail. Let's deal with the trauma that we've experienced as a people and continue to experience as a people, and that trauma is a trauma, yes? Yes, we have to take responsibility for the trauma that we've been through. But white supremacy has never stopped. White supremacy has never finished with what they're doing. We ain't addressed slavery till now, we ain't addressed colonialism. We're still victims of what we've been going through for years, and now we're victims of our own destruction. We need to fix it. Thank you, brother.
Leo's just going to make a point, concluding from that.
Brothers and sisters,
I do hope that we really appreciate what's happening here tonight, and I really do appreciate what my young brother just said. And by the way, brother, you are young, 30. There are no old people in here. It's just a thinking. Brothers and sisters, talking is a part of our therapy. Believe me, you see this meeting tonight? This should be happening at least once a week. See, at least once a month. Black talk, where we come together. Because did you know that that's actually disallowed among black people? We're not allowed to actually have this going on a regular basis, where we can build relationships through conversation. I hear some talk, I do hear talk from time to time. We talk too much. We need some action. Action without the words preceding is mindless. We have to have the conversation. By the way, I'm wondering about Mark Prince, how he got into my room and wrote down all my notes. No, believe me, brother, that was really awesome. Very, very beautiful. And I'm really encouraged, brothers and sisters, to see the turnout, because we didn't come out for music.
Leo, 1 second, I'm not cutting you. Organisers said that we have to get the people then to sit down because it's a fire hazard.
Yes, please.
Yeah?
Please.
Sorry, sir. Sorry.
Up. No spaces. No spaces.
Brothers and sisters,
God bless.
brothers and sisters, I just want to say a few things because it's really important. I'm hearing a lot of talk, brothers and sisters, that, you know, we need to hear from the youth. But according to my understanding of African tradition, it's old men for counsel, young men for war. And this idea that somehow the youth are just going to lead the youth, it ain't happening. We have broken our traditions, and we have to rebuild them if we're going to be successful. My leader, teacher, and guide on May the 11th, around the corner, is going to be 85 years old. And he's not an old man. The God that I worship is ageless. Let's get away from this age thing. We need to hear from the youth and we need to hear from the elders. Our problem is that we have a division between the elders and the youth. Our problem... Sorry. I've got a little tooth thing I'm working on. Our problem is that we have a division between male and female. There's a problem, brothers and sisters. These are gaps that got to be bridged. Let me just conclude by saying this to you, brothers and sisters. You know, again, I hear this talk. You know, you see me wearing a suit and bow tie. Maybe I look like I come out of college. But I came up in those streets. I used to carry a sawn-off shotgun under my coat. That's my background. I've served 7 years in these institutions. So this idea again that as elders we can't talk to these youth, we've been there. And we survived the streets. Many of those that I grew up with, they're in the grave now. So I don't want nobody to tell me that I can't talk to these young people because we lived it, we survived it, now we're taking the struggle onto a higher level. And if we disregard our elders, we are doomed to fail. Brothers and sisters, on the 5th of September this year, my nephew, 14 years and 9 months, in Forest Gate, somebody walked up behind him and put a shotgun to the back of his head and blew his head off. Okay? This is the reality of what... See how many people tonight have stood up and borne witness to the kind of murders and stuff that's going on? Because it's real. It's real. And none of us are exempt. None of us are going to be able to make an excuse and pretend that this ain't a reality that every one of us has to address. Brothers and sisters, we need an army. I'm just going to pause on that. I'm going to pause on that one. I'm going to pause on that one because I'm telling you, this scared to death Negro mentality that some of us have, we need soldiers. And we need disciplined soldiers. We need a minimum in this country of 1,000 fearless black people who are willing to stand up on the front line of the battle and stand between the bullets and the knives. That's what we need. And so come to us in the nation because we're ready to get training. We're looking for men. We're looking for men who have got testicular fortitude. I'm going to break it down for you. Balls. Balls. We don't want no cowards. No, and by the way, we need sisters as well. Okay. Who are soldiers. Sister soldiers. Okay. I'm concluding, brothers and sisters. People are talking about religion. See, the Muslims, they go to the mosque on Friday, they get righteous and holy. The Christians go to the church on Sunday, they get righteous and holy. The so-called Jews go to the synagogue on Saturday, they get righteous and holy. But for the rest of the week, it's pure evil and hypocrisy. I'm not into no religion. My way of life is a way of life. 24 hours, 7 days a week. What you see in the public is what goes on behind closed doors. We've got to stop this playing with religion where we talk God but we walk Satan. I'm closing, brothers and sisters. Many of us are in what's called tacit agreement with hell. How many of us are currently in agreement with these people bombing Syria to save the Syrian people? No, many of us are. We are in tacit agreement. In other words, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, go ahead. Let me tell you something, brothers and sisters. We have to understand where we live. And we live among some very evil practices. And the scripture says your agreement with hell will not stand. We've got to remember who we are. We are a very unique and special people. In fact, we are the people of God. By whatever name you call him. And I'm saying to all these black people in here who've got this mentality now, like, well, we can play with God. We only go to God when we're in trouble. You understand? But we don't practice following God until we, you know what I'm talking about. Every single one of us in this room, we have a conscience. There's a little voice right up inside of us that talks to us every day. And guess what we do? We crush them up, shut them off. Never do it in the wheel. We have to stop this, brothers and sisters. We have to develop what's called introspection. Stop pointing fingers out and start looking within. Because somebody said it already, but these young people, guess what? We gave birth to them. We're giving birth to killers. Do you know why? Because the fruit don't fall too far from the trees. Understand this. So there's something that we've got to do as parents in terms of looking at ourselves and fixing up. Fixing up, because the problem lies with us. We've taken our eye off the prize. I came to this country in 1967. When I came, you could not walk down the road, see another black person and not give a greeting. We have moved away from one another. We have fallen for a hype called integration. And while we integrate with others, we disintegrate among ourselves. We must, brothers and sisters, come back together. Come back together. We need one another. Black man, you're going nowhere without the black woman. Black woman, you're going nowhere without the black man. I'm closing, brothers and sisters. Please, brothers and sisters, my brother said it earlier, let me just repeat what he said. Be very careful of language. You know, they use this term, they started to use this term several years ago, ethnic minority. The root of ethnic comes from heathen. We are not ethnic, nor are we a minority. Of the 6-7 billion people on the planet, we are the majority. You must change the language. Our children are not Sorry. It's a real problem. I'm in the middle of dental work. Our children are not kids. They are children. The kid is the offspring of a goat. Be very careful with language. See, the behavior comes from how you label them. We've got to change the language, brothers and sisters. I'm finished. Please, brothers and sisters. We have programs we're going to roll out. We're going to be working with our brothers. We're going to come together under the umbrella, and we're going to work together as members of the Nation of Islam. But remember what I said. We want 1,000 fearless. Come and see us. See these brothers. We are your family. Come and be a part of the army. The government and the police, they respect us. They don't play with us. There's a reason for that. Because of a highly
disciplined group of black people. You need to be a part of that. Brothers and sisters, we want to start a black building campaign. And we will work in conjunction with others because we need a building. We need, see, 70 years after Windrush, we can't point to one building, one piece of infrastructure. It's a shame. We need it. And finally, brothers and sisters, somebody talked about root causes. So if it's a root cause that we need to be dealing with, we need to look at root cause or root solutions. We have to go to the root. Thank you for allowing me this time to say these words. Please don't leave here tonight. Don't leave here tonight without touching base with another brother or sister, especially somebody that you've never met before, and give a greeting to a brother or a sister. Start networking. And I'm appealing to the organizers, brothers. We need more of this. We cannot talk enough. We need black people to be, when you listen to our people talking, there's a lot of anguish. And we need to allow our people to accept. This is part of the therapy that we've never had. Thank you. May the Creator bless you as I bid you in peace.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. How about the last group?
Yes. Greetings, family. Firstly, I'd like to thank Yisreal for organising this event. Secondly, I'd like to thank all of you who come out today because that's the hope for the next generation. The fact that we're coming out of our yard is the first step, Since the North London ride out, I literally haven't slept, so sorry if I'm not sounding too vibrant. I'm very tired right now. Sorry to anyone who's been trying to contact me or anyone I haven't greeted, because there's so many of you in here that I know sometimes it's a bit overwhelming, I can't lie. But basically, I can't lie. I'm tired of talking personally. I can't lie. Personally, that's why we hit the road. Because obviously, I'm not gonna lie, fam. We've been hearing this for 15 years, 20 years. We've been hearing the same talk, fam. The same. Nothing's changed, you know. You can play a video from 15 years ago and see if the talk has changed, innit? It hasn't changed, innit? It's the same conversation that we're having right now. You had it 15 years ago, yeah. But one thing we didn't do 15 years ago is we didn't act upon the conversation that we had. You understand? So that's why gang acted, innit? And this ain't something new. This ain't something new. We was talking about acting from about 3-4 years ago. We've been talking about the fact that we go to 10 Downing Street on the 1st of August, and it's like one of my favourite days of the year because all of our people come together and we march to 10 Downing Street for reparations march, yeah? But every year we do that in our thousands. So I said, yeah, imagine if, yeah, we organised and marched to our communities and just repaired our own communities. Now, obviously, it's gang, Nation of Islam, we've got Solution, we've got different organisations here, innit? Yeah? And we definitely want to, gang definitely wants to collaborate with other organisations, yeah? But you have to sort out your own house first, innit? You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to sort out your own internal thing, innit? Nation of Islam is sorted out, you understand? Deen up, they're sorted out. We need to sort out our own internal thing before we start linking up with other people on an organisational level, because we have to sort out, we have to sort out exactly, because we were only 6 months old, you know, family. Gang was only 6 months old, family. Yeah, within the 6 months, the amount of work that we've managed to achieve, you know what I'm saying? And it's not just me. Most of the gang is having sleepless nights, you know what I'm saying? And we're gonna have to balance this out and start looking after self. Because yesterday I popped down, I was meant to go to studio, and I just comped out, you know what I'm saying? My body gave up on me completely. So I've definitely got to balance that one out now, yeah? But differently, yeah, if we're talking about the solutions, family, like a lot of the I don't understand a lot of the big words and a lot of the big talk and rare. I just know, yeah, if we were to go to the estates and we were to find all the 10 years old and 11-year-old youth who are not yet involved but close to being involved, yeah, but close to being involved, and if we was to do a project of actually taking out these youth and investing in them and giving them better opportunities on every estate, yeah, if we was to do this on every estate, then the situation would change overnight. It would change. like we got organisational divisions in our community as well, yeah? We've got postcode wars with the organisations. There's certain organisations that can't turn up when there's other organisations, and there's other organisations that can't turn up when there's... So we've got that to deal with, because we're going out on the roads and we're telling our brothers who have had deaths amongst them to stop fighting, innit? We're telling them come together for your people, innit? They've got deaths, innit? Man have died, innit? Man have died, man have lost their brethren in front of them in blood, yeah? And then you got elders, you got sisters, you got brothers who say, oh, I can't come together. Come on, man. Come on, man. Let's be real. Oh, what? Put someone step in your shoes. Come on, man. I had a sister who told me, yeah? One of my sisters, I love her off, yeah? But she was talking to me about, basically, someone that was in the gang ride out, she had a past thing with him. You understand? So then, boom, she said, I'm not going to go if he's there. And I said, that's the sickness, my sister. Yes. You get me? That's the sickness, because we've got to put our youth dying before our own internal differences. You understand? Yeah? And that's why like, one minute, before I deal with the elders, Nadia Maroon, can you stand up, please? Can you stand up, please? Can you stand up? I ain't going to talk until everyone makes a loud noise. Everyone makes a loud noise. I'm from the road, and I'm not going to send out, yeah? And I hear that council for elders and rare, but that sounds a bit like a send-out thing to me for. But I can't lie, like, I'm not really into that statement. I don't like it at all, you get me? Like, I'm saying, yeah, there's no division with our elders, yeah? You see this woman here, this Nadia Maroon, yeah? All 4 marches we had, yeah, from 6:30 to 3 o'clock in the morning, she's trotting with us. She's trotting with the man there. So when I call her my elder, and I bow down to my elder, that's because she's there supporting us. She's seen the youth doing something, and she's come out all 4 times, and she supported the initiative. She hasn't come from far and said, oh yeah, let's do some business, let's get some funding, rare. Man don't want to hear all of that. Man don't care about all of that. I'm going to keep it 100. Yeah? Man doesn't give a... Like, I don't care if none of you like me. I'm Raspect Fire Bingy. I do with the Most High alone. You understand? This is real. Are you for really dying out there? You understand? Man went to estates where man pulled out the straps. Man pulled out the strap on one of the estates. The other estates, man started throwing down knives and tooling up. Yeah? Man's on the front line for real. Yeah? But at the same time, when we reason with our brothers, and this is the next thing, the elders, some of you cannot talk to the youth. It's simple. You can't communicate with them. You've got too much ego, you come across too obnoxious. You're too full of yourself. I don't want to see all of that. I need some humbleness. I need some understanding. You understand? I'm going to give you 100. You understand? So when I go to the man there, like one of our elders who was on a square estate, now every estate we've gone to, I phoned the bad man on the estate. Yeah, I phoned the bad man and I said, yo, we're coming to the estate, we can't have to do them things. You understand, fam? So boom, I phoned the man, I said, yeah, we're coming. Then one of our elders is on the estate saying, and all of you, we're coming for you. I'm saying, and I got a phone call the next day, my man, and then I was saying I dig at the individual, you know, because I love my brother, you get me? We've got a next elder that created a team on our Gang Unite team, sending for Tim Westwood. Yeah, I don't rate Tim Westwood, yeah? But we haven't got time for that. Because once we send for Tim Westwood, we're getting into debates with our rapper brothers. So I've got our rapper brothers on the phone and I'm having big debates, and we don't need to do that right now. We need the rappers on side so that we can talk to the youth and we can get them to understand what we're saying. You understand? Yeah? That's what we got to do, yeah? Like even me, yeah, like you see it in the last video, Leon, Jedi, everyone that was there, you'll see in Harlesden in the last circle. We was talking to the youths. They weren't really listening. They was nodding their head a little bit. Like you see the minute man started spitting bars. You see the minute man started spitting bars, they started grabbing me. They're coming, they're kidnapping me, saying, yo, spit again. Jedi spitting a bar, they saying, yo, big man, come back and spit that again. You understand? Because this is their language, innit? Yeah, so I don't blame the drill, I don't blame the youth that are making the drill, I blame myself as Raspect Fire Bingy, a man who can pen words and put something out there to put a balance. So man putting a balance, I ain't attacking my brothers. We just saw Abracadabra, who's the one, man don't talk, man rap. Yeah? If you know, you know. Yeah?
That's right.
Come on.
Another young voice, yeah?
So Abracadabra, yeah, he's a big driller, rapper from this end, you get me? Yeah? And he's one of the main ones you would say that they would judge him and say he's negative. But he just used a clip of me and Jedi on the BBC saying we don't work with police. You understand? At the beginning of his video. Because we're getting to them. You understand? I'm not going to say the names of the rappers, but we're getting to people. And we're getting to generals on the ends. Yeah, because that's the only way we're going to deal with the situation. Man can have funding, man can have all that, but what? If you don't know who's got beef with who, how are you going to sort out anything? If you don't know, if you don't know, like, come on, if you haven't gone to the place where these men are, and you don't know these men have got beef with these men because there's a death, but these men have got beef with these men because someone got rushed in a rave. So then we know this one, we can deal with this one. Because someone got rushed and no one will be dead over that. You understand? So, this is, and when we talk about funding, like, obviously, we can talk about that later. I'm not even into that F word. It's like a swear word right now. Because there's so many people coming at man's neck like vampire about funding. You get me? And man ain't even stepped on the front line with man yet, but you're talking about funding. I don't want to hear you talk about funding. I want to see you beside me, G. Let me see you beside me. And then we can talk about getting some money. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Like, I've heard bare people like, and it's not even a thing like, it's not even on an egotistical one, but I've heard bare people like put forward what the gang's doing as if they're doing it. You know what I'm saying, fam? Like, it's not that, fam. The gang's out here doing what we're doing it. Like, we don't care if anyone likes us or not, fam. We're getting bare hate right now. If you know how much hate we're getting, fam. Yeah, if you know how much fight we're getting. Yeah, but we don't care. We came here to do a mission, fam. Like, we came here to do a mission, fam. You know what I'm saying? So like, I can't lie, my family, yeah? I was even going to talk tonight because I don't want to bring no negative vibes, but at the same time, I've got to be real with my people, innit? Yeah? And like, if we're talking about funding, yeah, there's how 250 capacity. Like, this ain't for today, yeah? This is for when we come back next time, I'm going to talk to Yisreal about it, yeah? Like, we've said this for, like, this is something we've had for months in that pipeline, yeah? 300 people. Do you think there's 300 people that want to see a change in the community? Yeah? Alright, cool. 300 people, yeah? And put £20 a month for 5 months, and we've got 30 grand there. And then we can go to the States and take the youth somewhere. Like, you can just take them. You can just, like, you can invest in them. We can do things, fam. We can do things, like, amongst ourselves, just as long as we're willing, to be disciplined and we really want to see the change. But the main thing we're going to have to do, my family, I can't lie here, the main thing we're going to have to do is get active. Yeah? We're going to have to get active, yeah? Because every single one of you here has a little brethren or a little son, or a little nephew, or someone that's kind of connected to the roads. So that's the powers then, isn't it? You bring them in, you understand? Can everyone follow Gang Unite TV? Tell your youth to follow Gang Unite TV. You understand? Because that's where the information is coming from right now. You understand? But I just want to conclude. Yeah, I'm going to conclude, yeah.
G.A.N.G.
Guiding
a new generation.
Touch one.
Touch all.
Touch one.
Touch all.
Touch one.
Touch all.
Done no. So basically we got to get out of there because we're not going to get the place again, yeah? So let's keep it boosting, yeah? I've been holding it a lot, yeah? But basically, yeah, like the main thing we have to do, yeah, is realise who is effective where, innit? Yeah? So you all know some youths who are connected to the roads, yeah? It's them who you have to speak to. And you know what, one thing the elders have to start doing? Please start doing it. More listening than speaking. That is a big thing. More listening than speaking. And then when you're speaking, speak the point of view of the youth. Don't speak the judge, because the minute you're doing that judge thing, they're turning off. They're turning off already. You've lost the contact. So that's the main thing, and I just want to thank everyone for coming out. Guiding! Guiding! Big up everyone, big up my brother Raspect. I just really want to quickly say something as well, yeah? Quickly, as we're getting ready, yeah, we've got to remember the nature of the threat. Yeah, the nature of the threat. We are at war. We have to understand what the war is, yeah? What are you going to go home now and feed your child? What are you going to go home now and pay your little $29.99 a month for them to go and feed their brain with?
Yeah? You think that this is an accident, but this is by design. We have to understand. Look up in the sky and see what's happening. Yeah? Take yourself away. Like, I hear the religion thing. Put your religion in the back pocket. Right now, you lot need to be studying what's actually going on. Yeah? Some of your elders in the community, they don't seem to be moving. Things don't seem to happen when things land on their lap because they're Freemasons. You understand? Hand in hand. They are Freemasons, hand in hand with the same establishment that you trust them to help you fight against. Some of these people are taking oaths and checks that have nothing to do with our freedom. Please wake up. We want to empower you. That's what we're not in here for other people to get powerful off our backs. We want to empower the community, yeah? So when you see something happening, make sure that it's you first trying to deal with it. Don't look at a panel to deal with what's going on your road. Because the minute you do that, you put your power into the hands of some gatekeepers, and we're going to go around for the next 60 years. That's what I want to say to you, though, yeah? Gang, gang, gang.
Alright, brothers and sisters, there's some juice and some water. Don't leave any in the building. Feel free to take it with you. 1 minute, I'm just going to feed Brother Andrew.
Yes. My brother. Come on.
Not the very beginning. It's like 2 years. You want to do this thing or something?
Yes, you are, yeah.
Let me get close, Josh.
Is there information going on that I can try to join up? I mean, like, you know,
Just turn up.
I've only just come back.
That channel, they'll go on there, you'll find it.
Yeah, I'm going to go on the TV. Get my Insta.
Hi there. Yeah, I was on your behalf.
What's your mention?
I was going to say, you know, I've got a son and he's got a podcast still, DMB, their man there, I don't know if you've heard them. Their man there, he's got a podcast anyway, but he must have the bus ride. And he wanted to do the same thing, take some of them kids out in the summer and stuff, so we can link still in some way, yeah? And yeah, because he can get, you know, he can drive bus. Nice what you're saying, fire, man, lovely, fire, yeah man, definitely. What are you how much is the book? Oh, you're inside. What are you doing?
Everywhere. So everyone else goes to just distribute what's happening. And that's the mothers are my brother Nigel couldn't think it. He couldn't think it. I want to do a t-shirt and then mum shut up. Do all kinds of salad. So when you talk to your mum like that, you talk to your woman like that. What this like, it's good. I don't know what the word is for that, but you know what's happening. Yeah?
Raspect, we want link to it. Fire bingo.
Anyway, next meeting, I don't know, I'll come and find out what I
I gave them some hats.
What hat? Thank you. That's why I tried to find out what I do. That's another one.
Yeah, around somewhere now. I bought this one.
Yeah, how do we keep it?
Yes, kid.
Just have that.
I agree, I'm too real for them. I'm coming.
Can you just give us...
How do we get more involved?
That's it. What do you mean, what do we want?
How do we get more involved?
No. What do you want? I'm tired, man. Because we want to follow you and we want to smash it.
Okay, so the Instagram is...
I'm just going to take a picture of
doing live.
We'll take a picture.
Why now? I'm going to ask him. I know he's tired, but you know.
Yeah?
Raspect. Oh yeah, we can do that. Yes. Sorry, sis. General. Every time. Done now.
See, I'm not on Instagram, so like, for someone like me, how do I get information when you know I'm not texting and whatnot? Because I'm not on Instagram, not on Facebook, I'm on WhatsApp.
Yeah, can I give you my beat? Yeah, just keep it. I'm a
number as well, I might.
Yeah.
Just text me in it. Text me gang. Text me gang in your name.
Alright, can I have your number then? 946, yeah? 946. 46 at the end.
Just text gang and your name.
Thank you.
Keep up, yeah? God bless you.
Keep the powers. You remember. Let's say our front line.
Imagine I just touched out back in the country.
Yeah.
It's 2 weeks and that man's seen it every
Come on, yeah. I know I'm going to link up with the gender. That's why man just set the wave, you get me?
You know what? If you not working, I wouldn't even know roles. Like, you know what I mean? Not one on fire or no.
Yeah.
Tired of hearing it.
It's a lot of talking.
Tired of hearing it.
No. We've done one place in North East South of Raspect.
Where's your next?
We're probably going to have internal fundraising.
I mean, you can probably get me through
As soon as you've got the foundation, it's going to be a mad thing. We're looking to push every organisation. But then remember, so we're going to put into it. Look at us
The thing is, we've been on since 1983. We come in, we set in school in 1983 after the to hit the road, and we need to start finding
I'll tell you where to hit them then. Right, we need to get into the schools. Starting in the schools, starting with them getting excluded from schools and getting put into the centres. What's them centres called?
Now we
That's what it's like.
we done all that. We had education through music. We run that. And then what happened was we weren't getting love and support from the community. As soon as the money run out, then everybody just dropped on us like.
It should be about money though.
No. What I'm saying is that when you run into the services, you take funds. It takes 1 hour. Every person here, nobody mentioned it, and I didn't get time to the mic. Yeah? It takes 1 hour, 1 hour to volunteer. What each person here, if they commit to 1 hour volunteering in their community, that's enough to change. I mean, there's people that can do more, but just to do 1 hour volunteering or mentoring somebody, young person, that's all it takes. For the beginning. So this is the kind of about coming together as a collective, rather than having loads of different voices, having a umbrella, having a particular thing where we can get one place, and then they can when they think that the business or the person is generally doing stuff, and that's based on results. When you actually see results that they're doing with
that's what I was trying to say. That's a great point.
I got to quickly do something.
He's trying to get when they go to Parliament or when they go to Number 10, put a part of that petition to say.
We're going there Wednesday. We're going there on Wednesday. That's what the meeting. That's what we're going. We're going there Wednesday. That's an invited meeting. It's not. It's and that's what it's about. It's about kind of saying we need to stop the exclusion and the break that it's excluding black people and put them in crucial referral units and stuff like that. And giving them labels early. So once you start putting labels up and giving the kids them labels from the early point of view, they perpetuate that myth. So that's what we need to do. We need to break the chain.
Ladies and gentlemen, please can you leave the auditorium, please? Leave the auditorium, please. Thank you very much. Have a good night. Get home safe.
I'm gone. I'm sure people want to talk to each other and run a line down quickly. I'll be out there. You probably see me out there anyway. Yeah, man. I'm alright.
I've already got your number. I'm going to take a little break.
Yes, okay, yeah. See you soon, yeah.
Very soon.
You know when you told me about the fire marshal? Yeah? About the fire skunk.
Content over everything. From your melody.
Man, say it straight. Man, don't listen to BBC.
Man, don't listen to.
Yeah, brother, ready, you know, when you're ready. Just
Yes, sir.
Just a brief roundup of today's event.
Well, we just had a very wonderful meeting. You could call it a town hall meeting. There was a panel of brothers that came together to really discuss the crisis that we're currently facing within the black community. We were solution orientated. We had an opportunity where our audience, it was a jam-packed place in the Bernie Grant Center, our audience had the opportunity to really express themselves, to really voice some of the concerns and some of the things that are going on. And of course, there was, like I said, a tremendous concentration on solutions. What are we going to do? How are we going to do? And many ideas and concepts came out this evening. And, you know, I encourage those who came out tonight for us to continue this process of dialogue within the black community, a process where we keep coming together, because this is how ultimately we're going to build. Because unfortunately for a lot of our people, we kind of got an abracadabra kind of mentality. We think we can snap our fingers and everything is going to change. It's not going to happen. It's a process. And we have to have that longevity of coming together, working together. Not talk in unity, but walk in unity. And when things get difficult, we do those things that will allow us to stay together. And if we can do this, then eventually we can start to create infrastructure, we can start to pool resources, get a building that we can call our own, get some land that we can call our own, start to build those institutions that will bring back the love, the respect of our women and our children, because right now there's a tremendous alienation, there's tremendous divisions within the black community between the black male and the black female, between the black youth and the black elders. And this meeting tonight was all about how do we find those solutions to bring and to start that healing. And so I'm very excited, I'm very happy. I feel very blessed to be a part of this process, to be alive in 2018 and part of the struggle. And the struggle continues. So I thank you very much, brother, for the opportunity.
No problem.